What's going on, everyone? It's Nina Infinity. Welcome to my channel on this Wednesday. This is Breaking the Narrative, and I am enraged. I am enraged today. We need to get the resistance together because the Gwawould have taken over Amazon Prime and Amazon Studios. We have to beat the Gwawould, and to do that, I have here with me tonight Elaine, aka Nerd Cookies. Hi, Elaine. Hi, how
Hello.
are you?
Good. I wish I was here under better circumstances.
I know. I'm so bummed. We also have Script Doctor, who has some interesting plans that we can't talk about.
Yes, the doctor is in and I'm about to operate. I'll put it that way. And it's so great to be back with you, Nina. And I see, Elaine, you rebranded yourself as Nerkies. I dig it. It's cool.
Yeah. Got a new avatar and everything.
Yeah, no,
Nerkies.
nice.
I know you're Dune down. I love the Dune feel.
Thank you.
We have so much to talk about. There's so much to talk about all the time with you, Elaine. Like, I feel like we need to talk about so much sci-fi and there's so much other things going on.
But we were just celebrating. I feel like we were just celebrating the Stargate announcement. It was 7 months ago. That's crazy.
It's so crazy. We were just celebrating. I'm, as you know, or maybe some of the people don't know in my chat, so I should explain it. But I'm a new Stargate fan, kind of, because I started watching it way, way, way long ago when I was much younger, back in the day in Canada. But then, I fell off of it because I would catch an episode here and there, but it was too confusing. And then, that was when it was on TV. We didn't have streaming back then. So it just was one of those shows that I just never really caught onto. But then just a few months ago, I started watching it because I'm a huge fan of actually Joe Mallozzi. Joe Mallozzi is a good friend of mine because of his show, A Dark Matter. We got to know each other, and he's a good friend and a supporter of the channel. And he was like, Stargate's happening now. So I was like, oh my God, Stargate's happening. Because, whenever we would hang out, everybody was always asking him about Stargate. And I knew Stargate was a big deal. And so just like you said, Elaine, a few months ago, we were all celebrating. We were on Anna's channel, constantly talking about Stargate. And so I started going like really into it and I started watching it. And I got to like basically a little bit into season 5 of SG1. And then my cat got really sick and died. And so I kind of stopped watching it again because I was like in mourning. And I was like, I don't want to like ruin this show for myself. So I kind of stopped watching it. But now I'm going to go back. Now I'm going back again because this is sad. This is sad. So Elaine, what's going on? What did you feel?
Stargate is one of the few IPs that when I saw that movie as a kid, it blew my little child's brain. I love that concept. It was so unique, and I love the characters of Jack O'Neill and Daniel Jackson. Kurt Russell and James Spader were fantastic, and it was so just mind-blowing to me. It was kind of like my Star Wars because I didn't see or get to experience Star Wars on the big screen for the first time. So I felt like that was kind of an experience that I felt like was kind of similar to that. And then we had the show, and I was watching it throughout all of its run on, I think Showtime is when it came out on that network first. And I forget when it went to the Sci-Fi Channel, but then it was Sci-Fi Channel with an I, and then it changed.
And then it changed to the Y.
Yeah. Which was it's so stupid. Like it was on Showtime and then Space, the Imagination Station, which has now become CTV Sci-Fi or SIFI.
SIFI.
Yeah.
And then when I think shortly after that, the rebranding is when they started having issues, at least. So they canceled Stargate Atlantis, which was going really great in its storylines. And then shortly after, Stargate Universe, which just had its second season, that they had to end and just leave us all hanging. And so, and we've been long suffering and patiently waiting ever since due to the rights issues with Stargate and how that's happening. Script will probably know more about that. But then Amazon purchased MGM. When was that? 2020?
Yep.
And then it's just been on the dust. I mean, $8.5 billion. You think they would make it a priority. And they said that Stargate was one of their top titles. Obviously, James Bond was the biggest, but only that is just they're finally starting to get underway. But they have to wait for Denis Villeneuve to be done with Dune, and yeah, this is just we're finally getting what we wanted, which was
Mhm.
continuation, and we all weren't expecting like just to pick up from Stargate Universe. We wanted just a show that wasn't a reboot or anything like that, to wipe the slate clean entirely and just start over. We wanted
Mhm.
something that would continue or exist within the framework that was already established over decades of television and stories, hundreds of episodes of just an incredible TV. And that's what we wanted. And we had the people that would do that. It was everything
Mhm.
the fans were asking for.
But
And yeah, this
apparently what the fans wanted is not quite what the executives wanted. And I guess I want to start here to kind of introduce the players. For example, this gentleman here, I believe, here we go, Peter. Peter, how do you say this guy's name? Friedlander?
Friedlander.
Friedlander?
Yeah, it's Peter
Friedlander.
Friedlander. Yeah.
Yeah, he joins Amazon Studios. He was one of the Netflix dudes, so that kind of tells you all you need to know. Netflix around 2020. That's the guy that ran a lot of those shows. And then also this other gentleman here. His name is Blair Fetter.
oh, Brett Fetter. Yeah.
Blair Fetter.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, Blair
There it is,
Fetter.
That says
Okay.
Blair.
Blair.
I think his
He
name
is
is Brett.
also his name is Blair Fetter, and he's also a
That's weird.
Netflix alum. So he joined his other buddy
Really?
Peter, also from Netflix. So they had a little Netflix reunion over at Amazon right when this purchase was done and the deal was made. And all the timing aligns with the fact that basically these people don't like sci fi, and they certainly do not like Stargate specifically. And when I was talking to Joe, because I was talking to Joe this morning and yesterday morning when the news broke, and I told him, this really reminds me of that episode of the pilot with on Seinfeld. Are you guys familiar with that episode?
Oh yeah. I'm familiar
Oh,
with that episode. That entire season was all about doing the pilot, the Jerry show.
yeah, the Jerry Show. Elaine, have you ever seen that episode?
I'm sure I have, but I don't. I mean, I don't know. I
Well,
watch Seinfeld out of order all the time.
I got the scene. And I think this is exactly what happened the other day, or obviously this happened probably a few days ago, not when the news dropped for us. But I have a feeling this is kind of how it went down. Here we go.
Hello?
Hi, Jerry.
This is Rita Kearson.
Oh, hi, Rita. I'm calling to let you know that Russell Dowell,
Ruppel is no longer with his network.
oh my God, did he get fired? To be honest with you, nobody really knows.
He seems to have disappeared.
Russell's disappeared? In any event, I've been made the new president of NBC. Now, as you may or may not know,
Russell and I did not see eye to eye on many, many projects. And as my first order of business, I'm passing on your show.
you're passing already? The show just ended 2 minutes ago.
Well, I just got the job. Goodbye, Jerry.
And then she
Yeah.
throws it in the trash. I think that's exactly what happened here. We had an executive that came in, didn't like what was going on, didn't like sci-fi, didn't like the show, and obviously has very different ideas about how to run shows because they're coming from Netflix. And so that's what we got here. We got a very bad situation. Script Doctor, I do have a question for you
Mhm.
because you're in this industry, and the pilot reminded me of that, because usually back in the day when the shows were syndicated, like we had television, we didn't have streaming, you get a pilot, like you would get a pilot episode to have the fans see it, the executives see it, they would do all the rating stuff to see whether they should actually pick up the series. And I'm just wondering, what happened to that model? Like, even for streaming, like, why can't we have at least a pilot episode for them to see the fan reception, to see, how people perceive the series as it is? Like, why can't we have a pilot?
Well, we technically have pilot seasons still. It's just not the same as it used to. It's actually getting back close to what it used to be. During the heyday of streaming, Netflix kind of changed the game by just doing series orders and no pilots. And the pilot was important to test the validity of the show. Does it have potential? Do we see how it works? What does it resonate with the so if it's an hour-long drama, you actually have a focus group that watches it and they give you notes. If it's a sitcom, you'd have a live studio audience to give you some feedback as you're developing the episode.
Yes.
For the most part, we still have that for network television. It's just been shrunk down considerably. Because it used to be you usually get anywhere from like 30 to 100 pilots shot between January and April and then tested. And then maybe 1 or 2% of them might be given a first season order, or a season order with the first half, which would be the first 13, and then you have the back 9. And that model worked really well. And what's funny is, and you know, I know writers like this. My buddy Paul Shadow knows a situation like this where there are a lot of writers and people who you've never heard of who made their living making pilots that never got picked up. Like they're good enough to write a pilot to get things going and get some jobs made. But for whatever reason, whether it's a change in studio heads, and whenever there's a change in the studio head, more often than not, the studio head will clean the entire slate of the previous regime, because the last thing you want is your predecessor to have a success under your watch.
Right.
Because then they say, well, it's not your success. He greenlit it before he was let go, or before he was dismissed, or before he quit. And you are just kind of riding in on his coattails or her coattails. So in order to avoid that, you clean the entire slate and you start a brand new slate of shows and productions that you want to do under your own regime, so that you can get full credit for successes. And if it fails, you just blame it on the previous guy, because you say, oh yeah, that was just something I had to let through from the previous guy because of contracts, and it's complete malarkey. Now, there's been a huge push from the writers union, from the actors, from the directors, from the producers guilds to get pilot season back as to what it was. Problem being is that you can't shoot pilots in California anymore because the state is run so terribly that it's unnecessarily expensive to produce anything in California at this moment. Could change. I don't know. There was an election yesterday. There's still ballots. We'll see what happens.
I know. I did hear there was an election there yesterday. I don't know what's going on with that.
I tried to vote, but you know, I didn't get a mail-in ballot.
I see. Well, that's really interesting. That's actually fascinating. Because that, like, you're talking about even like a pilot season here. So I guess that this is kind of like what it would have been for Stargate if they had let it go on.
If the script would give them a green light to make a pilot, they would shoot the pilot, they would test it, and then from there they would determine to proceed or not proceed. I suspect that it's a little bit of column A and B. Column A being the new guy doesn't want his predecessor to have a success in his absence. And then the other part is he maybe just doesn't get or like science fiction, and he just doesn't want to do it. Or he has a particular taste of science fiction that he prefers, and the new Stargate was not aligning to that as well.
Well, and
but
this
did they not announce that they're still going to pursue trying to develop a Stargate series?
So that's the next thing, right? So there was also this article. Oh, that's okay, because that is exactly actually what happened. Is that so we got this article from Deadline shortly after it was announced by Variety that the show was canceled, and this Deadline article actually kind of went into like probably very close to what has happened. And I will just I guess I'll just read this here. So it says the decision to pull the plug came late in the process. I hear this is obviously by this writer here. What was it?
Neil or Nell?
Nellie.
Oh, Nellie Andreeva. Sorry, my eyes are small.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Nellie Andreeva.
Now, oh, good for her.
Yeah. So she says here that it was canceled. Now they had I believe a 12-week writing period. They were about to start
12 or
shooting. 20 weeks writing period. They were about to start shooting like next week in the UK. The decision to pull the plug came late in the process. I hear that the show had a 20-week writer's room and it was in pre-production in the UK. It was explained that the new series vision, creative direction, which allegedly no longer aligned with Amazon's programming strategy. The differences apparently ran so deep they required an outright axing versus rebooting the existing version of the project by giving notes to Jarreau, a veteran showrunner who had been signed into the overlay deal by Amazon and MGM Studios for the purposes of him spearheading a Stargate. Ironically, the new Stargate was greenlit by Amazon MGM Studios head of the television, Peter. This guy actually did greenlight it. And one of his first pickup decisions after joining the streaming service in October, he came from Netflix. But the series falls under the purview of one of his top lieutenants, this other dude, Brett.
Federer. Okay.
Yeah, Brett Federer.
Head of world building and genre series. That's not a title.
You know what's so crazy though? Head of the world building and genre setting. What bigger IP of world building than Stargate? I mean, that is one of the biggest world building IPs I think I've ever even known about. Like in Stargate.
It's in the orbit of Doctor Who and Star Trek, but hasn't broken that ceiling yet. I mean, it's popular. And it has a huge fan base. And it's also one of the longer running science fiction series there. I mean, it's neck and neck with Star Trek. But I mean, I know its actual frequency and even right now, it's kind of on par with Kurtzman's Star Trek and Stargate SG-1 when it comes to activity. This new series could have completely revolutionized that because SG-1 was a huge hit for what it was. But it was also kind of like it was in not necessarily in ratings, but in general audience popularity, it was neck and neck with Star Trek Voyager. It wasn't next generation level, wasn't Deep Space Nine level. It was Star Trek Voyager level, and Stargate Atlantis was kind of like Deep Space Nine level for that metric, and then Universe was Voyager, but it just did not connect. And I saw that show. I watched those first 2 seasons. I could tell that this was something that the writers were struggling with because it was not clicking at all.
That there was a lot of interpersonal drama, a lot of melodrama there. There was just some stark differences than what people were used to, but there was a lot of good things in there too. A lot of good bottle episodes, and it really did start to hit its stride. But also, I think, didn't they shift around its premiere nights? Like it used to be on Fridays. Sci-Fi Fridays was the big deal, was the big thing. I don't know. I think they changed to like Tuesdays towards that end.
Well, I remember when I saw it was a big premiere event for Thursday, at least where I was in Canada. And then I remember it was earlier. It was then aired early in the week on Tuesdays, and then it got the Saturday slot towards season 2, at least where I was. I remember because I was searching for it and I was like, oh, it's on Saturdays now? What the heck?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
It seemed like several things like that. And then, but then also they canceled it. They canceled these shows. And then it seemed that the channel in general wanted to go in a different direction. They were airing a lot of cheap, like ghost hunting shows and reality TV. The Sci-Fi Channel itself just completely changed directions.
They went History and Discovery Channel. That's what happened.
Oh my god!
Away from science fiction.
Yeah.
Ironically, yeah.
That was weird. I remember that time because I was like, "Where's the science fiction?"
Yeah,
because it was all history.
This Brett Federer has a superfluous title that has no meaning.
No meaning at all.
Head of world building and genre series. World building is a byproduct of a good show. You cannot build the world before you build the show. You dip your toes into the ocean that is your world as you're writing your show, and then with every subsequent episode, you are world building. Well, if you try to world build before you have a show, you are wasting your time because you're going to find things with your characters, with your plots, with how they interact that's going to stray from your initial plan. And what are you going to do? You're going to force the natural aspect of the human nature of storytelling to fit the world building that you spent months on? No, stupid. You cater to the direction of the characters and the stories with which you're writing.
This happened right to me. It's just a fake title to give his buddy a job. That sounds like exactly what happened.
Is what happened after Jennifer Salke's, well, her
Departure,
job
yeah.
was deleted essentially? Yeah, because I feel like this was a new job too, a new position.
Yeah, they made
Not
it
that's
up.
around after her exit, but yeah, so the show was announced in November, but Martin Garrow had been working on it for years. He had proposed it, well, at least in their initial announcement, he said I had to keep this a secret about like for 18 months
Yeah, for a
when they
while.
had greenlit, and he was continuing to work on it. And then, so yeah, November they announced it, and then February is when Brett Federer, head of world building, joined. And what do you think, script, about like to let it get to this point of all of the writers' room, all of the, I mean, they knew what the direction was, right? Years ago, like when he pitched it to Amazon, and all of this time as they're poised to shoot, they just axe it. Do you think that's normal under today's streaming landscape? Is that more of a thing we can expect?
God, that's a good question. I will say,
Is it equivalent to a pilot being aired and then, or is it more? I don't know.
this
This seems very drastic to me in comparison to that.
this is actually more.
This is worse. They didn't
It's
even get a
worse
pilot.
Well, they didn't even get a pilot, so it's worse in that regard. But sometimes that could also be a good thing, because if the show is a dud, like say for instance the Buffy the Vampire Slayer sequel series, you save yourself that huge production cost and headache. It's a double-edged sword. I would say it really just comes down to like who are the people making the decisions and what's their track record. And I would say it's really hard for me to narrow down on Friedlander's and Fetter's track record. I the data I can have access to is not sufficient enough to make me see that this is a good call. The other part too, and there is grounds to support this, and that is, despite the amount of experience one can have as a showrunner, there is something that happens to writers after they've had a successful career, and then they're kind of, semi-retired, or they're working on other projects, and then they get a chance to come back to their first love, so to speak. And you don't have the same fire and ambition that you did when you were the younger writer getting this opportunity. And as a result, sometimes the quality just might not be there. Like it almost comes to a point where I'd argue it's like you become the fan of your series, you then step away from it, you're still a fan. And then when you jump back into it, you have to now reconcile your writer's instincts over your fan instincts. And at the same time, try to capture that type of fire and hunger that you had, knowing that if I don't do a good job, I'm broke. And that's really hard to do when you've had a successful career and smart investments into your bank account, and you're not worried if this goes or it doesn't. And well, you might have a worry just regards to the career and being able to play in that sandbox again, but it's not the same as, man, if I don't write a really great episode, I'm going to lose my house because I won't be able to pay my mortgage. And if you've got, say, 17 years of show running under your belt, and you've directed a couple of pilots and you're getting the residuals off that, plus every show subsequent of it, you're not hurting financially, and you don't have that fire under you to do it. Now, I can't say that's going to be true of everybody that was on the writing staff, but it's a general possibility that happens. If you want to see a really great example of this, it's a painful one, but take a look at Paul Dini's work when he was on Masters of the Universe and Batman the Animated Series. Then take a look at his work when he was doing Spider-Man Web Warriors, and you will see a drastic decline in quality.
Oh,
Because
wow.
Paul
Okay.
Dini, he lost that fire. Same thing with Bruce Timm as a producer. He produced a bunch of duds after he finished the Justice League Unlimited series. And, you grow accustomed and comfortable once with your success to the point where you don't feel like you have to earn it anymore. And that
Well,
can
I
happen to
mean,
some people. Now, for these guys here, I mean, I've talked to Joe a few times on stream, and this is a type of guy who's got that fire and passion still in him.
yes, definitely. And I think I know Brad Wright was involved as well, but like at a very kind of like off level. Like he was just like reading the stuff and he's advising and stuff like that. I saw a tweet from him earlier that said, I wish I could have seen what they made, because they did some incredible work. It was really sad. but like also I think that those guys being there as the vets of the series, it kind of puts a different spin on it. At least for me it does. I think the original creators being involved makes it really a different feel than what we've been getting recently with certain sci-fi IPs like Star Trek and Star Wars. And I mean, Doctor Who is different because Doctor Who, the original creator, was involved. He just went crazy and decided, like, I'm just gonna, I don't know, ruin my own creation. That was a little bit different. Like Russell T Davies, I mean. But I don't know. I think Joe and them would have done this justice. And I'm gonna get into a little bit of the comments that he has had to make. But first, I want to finish this. So here it says the two executives who had developed Stargate with Jarrow had championed it. Nick Pepper, formerly head of the US SVOD TV development and series, wholly owned, and Matt King, formerly head of the tentpole genre and universe development, wholly owned, are both gone. With the former leaving, where Fetter joined the company, at the latter departing 2 months later when Fetter restructured his team. Stargate was among the first MGM titles identified for series film adaptation following Amazon's $8.5 billion acquisition. That's an insane amount of money. Isn't that more than Star Wars? Like Star Wars is
Mhm.
4.5
Twice over.
billion, right? Way over. That's crazy. Of the storied Hollywood studio in 2022, the studio may revisit the IP. This is the crazy part. The studio may revisit the IP with another showrunner, possibly someone who does not have history with it and would give it a fresh new perspectives. I hear that's the part that really just gets me, man. It gets me.
Well, so objectively, it's not a bad thing to have that. Because if you get a professional writer that knows what they're doing, they're going to honor what made this show successful, give it some sort of new perspective that it aligns with the core of the show and bring something forward. Like, I'll give you an example. Brandon Braga and Ronald D. Moore. They had no experience writing Star Trek before. They weren't even entirely fans at the time, but they were very good writers, and they helped make Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah.
That's the method. Same thing with Nicholas Meyer. He was a novelist and not much of a film writer. Made a couple of films time after time, and then, but he understood what the concept was of Star Trek. He connected it to Horatio Hornblower, and he's like, oh, I get this. It's Navy in space, and there's dynamics between the characters. And he gave us The Wrath of Khan, which is one of the best Star Trek films out there ever. And it's really just an echo of Moby Dick, with where you flip the antagonist and protagonist characters around. And he kept it simple. But the thing is, if you get a writer that has that can't bring fresh eyes or fresh perspectives to a story or a franchise, you're going to get a paint by numbers, same type of thing. The most professional of writers will always try to do something new, but they'll, if you're in a series for several years, like look at Supernatural, like 90% of that show is the same episode over and over again. It really is.
That's kind of funny. I've never seen a single episode, so I couldn't tell you.
And I mean, granted, diehard Supernatural fans will say otherwise. That's fine. You're okay. You get it. It's good. But the thing is, you want fresh blood into something, because even they will give ideas, and some will be bad and some will be great, but you want that so that you can actually start challenging yourself. Like even some of the younger writers I have, they give me a ton of dumb ideas, but from a dumb idea, I can come up with a really good idea, because it'll just make me think of something like, why would you come up with that thing that's so dumb? It doesn't make sense. And then it'll just carry me over to something where I'm like, oh, but I could do this.
Well, I can see how that works with like Star Wars. I think desperately needs something like that away from the Dave Filoni, like set in their ways, just referencing Star Wars and just smashing action figures together. Someone with that, Tony Gilroy, who had a fresh perspective and who was inspired by similar themes and wasn't trying to just do the paint by numbers referencing Star Wars.
Let's say
And I get
I
that.
have a bad feeling about this line. We'll put that
Yeah.
here. Forces,
Mhm.
within you. We'll put that there. We'll have the long stairs out into the vistas, trying to emulate
Yeah.
the Luke and the twin sun setting. All that, like Tony Gilroy didn't
No,
do that.
there was really good things in there, and that still felt like it fit within Star Wars. Very well done with Luthen Rail and Clea. That was like probably my favorite storyline in that whole
Yeah.
show. So that's great. I just worry that instead of what the initial approach for this, because I feel like Stargate was never in that sort of position that needed a fresh, I guess, or completely new thing to it.
Mhm.
I feel like the possibilities were endless to,
Yeah.
like
I
Star
agree.
Trek, similarly, to just do something like a Deep Space Nine, do something that's different, like that feels different, but still feels like Stargate. Like, I don't know if I can word it that well, but
Mhm.
I don't know. Are we going to get something like a Tony Gilroy, or are we going to get something like JD Payne and Patrick McKay's Rings of Power? With Amazon, it could
Mhm.
be either.
Well, it can be. Well, Amazon, again, they're still kicking themselves because their acquisition of MGM was distribution rights, not IPs. A handful of IPs, everything was just contracts for distribution. So they don't own RoboCop, but they have the contract to distribute RoboCop. So they can ask for a RoboCop film, and then the rights owners can decide whether or not they want to do it. But MGM doesn't have much control over that. They can just release it.
Yeah.
Not
I don't know what
exactly.
fresh new perspective means. I hear that, and it's PR speak that I can't have any
It's a platitude.
enthusiasm for.
The a fresh new perspective would just be, can you give us characters that can fit within the universe, but what we haven't seen in the previous series before?
Well, and I'm trying to
That's one aspect that
find,
you can do.
because Joe actually did write about that. Like, he was like, okay, I'm gonna have to push back on this. Like, I'm trying
Mhm.
to find that post that he put.
Oh, I
Because
think
he was
I
like,
saw that too earlier today. Yeah.
yeah, because he was like there was one post that he said the challenge to create a show that offers the best of both worlds, a perfect jumping point on point for new viewers who know nothing about Stargate, and still rewards the longtime fans by remaining true to the spirit of the original.
Mhm.
So, like, he had these things in mind when he was like helping advising the creation of this one and writing the episodes for this one. And I think that a lot of them did, like, they understood that this was also about bringing in new fans, as it is, keeping the old ones. I think, interestingly, like, Netflix had the biggest success with one of those IPs that they did that with, which I would have imagined this guy would have been familiar with, which is Cobra Kai, right? Like,
But
I
that's
think
not
Cobra
Netflix.
Kai,
That's the difference. It's
but
was
the
you.
guy that worked for Netflix had experienced Cobra Kai. So, and then he's now at Amazon. That's what I'm saying, is like, I think you would think that he would have understood that there is a way
It's
that you could bring an old IP back and like have a new spin in it where, like, new
you,
people were going to come in.
you'd think you'd understand that, but it was first of all, it was made by YouTube Red. It had 2 seasons on YouTube Red. It was the only
That's true.
successful YouTube Red show out there.
That's true.
And that guy from Netflix decided, hey, I'm going to buy this already vetted successful show. And then we're going to continue
Mhm.
on Netflix. It's not the same as starting from the ground up and being like, oh, I see potential in this. I think this should go through. We don't have anyone like that at Netflix. And you're not going to, because Netflix, foolishly, they have a completely different model compared to the network model, but they use the network model on the rating of metrics to determine what's successful or not. The problem being is that everything that they do, with very rare exceptions, is binged. And so you have
Oh,
a
okay.
full year between a complete season, at least a full year between the complete season. And the fall off from first season to second season is always significant. And when you have that level of fall off on a network show, it usually means it gets canceled. But the difference being is that the network show only has a 10-week hiatus between seasons, whereas Netflix, you have 11 months and 30 days.
Mm.
Because it's all dropped at once. So you have a longer window of people not watching your show, having to try and get them to remember about it, versus the
Yeah.
network where it's just the summer, that, a couple months out in the summer, and you're like, oh, it's coming back in September. That's great. I love that show. I just remember, I feel like I watched the last episode just a week ago, but summer is gone.
Right.
Now it's back here for the fall season. It's a
Yeah.
shorter window. So it's more on the tip of your tongue or in the forefront of your mind so that you can, you know, maintain the momentum of the popularity of your show, get your feedback from your core audience, get your feedback from your general audience, and make adjustments as best you see fit to hopefully win over that new crowd and grow. Because here's the other thing you have to remember. No fandom is 100% unified on anything.
That's very true.
So you can do your best to try to appeal to them, but really you got to play that very carefully. And you have to go with the forefront of my goal as a showrunner, as a writer, is I need to build a bigger audience than the previous show, and that's a Herculean feat. But you don't do. I mean, you have to balance between doing so that you don't sacrifice the fans that helped get you to that point, but at the same time, you know that you're not going to appeal to all of them, so you just have to bite the bullet and hope that the new choices you make have a broader appeal to a brand new audience to help build that up. And guess what? When things become really popular, some people who maybe didn't like the stuff in the first place might change their opinion and hop on so that they can be part of that community again. And that's
maybe
kind of what you're doing.
maybe like Battlestar Galactica, Ronald D. Moore's reboot. And I feel like that's what I was hoping. That's what I usually hope for when a IP is revisited and it's going that way, that it's a new story or new characters. And in the terms of a reboot, if that's necessary, still holding true to what fans loved about it, the core elements of Battlestar Galactica and the core characters and traits that they held. And I feel like Ronald D. Moore's did that while also forging a new path creatively and introducing new concepts like the human Cylons that were very compelling. And so it still felt like it was Battlestar Galactica, even though there was new things. We had
you had a sex swap. Yeah.
With Starbuck and Boomer, and they weren't sex swaps purely just to have a sex swap. It was very well written and just still felt in keeping with the characters.
It was great.
Still
Like
the
they were
devil may
such...
care pilot of Starbuck.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Boomer
No, it
was
was
very
great
different
written.
from the 70s Boomer in every respects, but they gave her a
It
more
was well
interesting
written
story.
though,
Yeah,
even
like,
then.
So well written.
Which is what we all wanted. We just wanted, okay, so respect the IP, respect what the fans love about it. And if there's changes to be made, I would hope that the changes are there for a compelling creative reason, not just to check a box purely to do that as per a creativity by committee. That's we're venturing into that. But if you have a vision and a character and a story arc in mind, and it's well written, then fans will be on board and new fans will join as well. So that's what is possible and what was possible with Battlestar Galactica. And it is still timeless in its stories. And that's what they could have had. Well, we could have also had with like Picard season 3, a similar framework of having respecting the lore or respecting the characters, respecting the fans while injecting new stories. I mean, I want to see the continued story of Jack Crusher. I want that so badly. And they could have done something like that as well. I was all on board for new characters and new storylines and expansion and enrichment of Stargate. That's what always is my hope. And
me too.
And they could have had that. I know that that's what they wanted. That's from the outset, their vision was to not alienate new fans. They wanted to embrace the fans that were there, that were long suffering, that have been supportive and loyal and dedicated for decades. They wanted to respect them. And from the very outset, Amazon Prime on their official channels said, this one's for you. This is for Stargate fans.
Yeah, this is for Stargate fans. I remember that was.
And this is a huge misstep of anything that comes forward. Well, now you've made an enemy of the fans. Now you do not have the goodwill that you had before, because there was pretty much a majority, I would say, were so happy that we were going to get new Stargate stories with the Stargate veterans, and even with the approach that they had said that it's not going to alienate that it's not going to alienate new fans. We want to make sure they enjoy it as well, a new jumping on point for them, but that it feels like Stargate, and we were all on board with that. But now to have this done with the scathing and very damning context that varieties and deadline sources are providing, without any statement from Amazon now, that's what we're left to deal with. So, okay, you don't want the fans. This is a huge blow to them. You've nuked all of the goodwill that you had. So anything that happens in
100%,
the
Elaine.
future, I'm not going to have any hope
100%.
for. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And I won't be supporting. I personally will not be supporting anything that comes out if it's not with this team, because I think that they're going to give it the Rings of Power treatment. I really do. I think that that's what the modern audience is. I think this whole situation with them wanting to do a broader appeal means like chasing the vague modern audience that they continuously do and they never succeed at. And this one is this post here was really interesting as well. He was clapping back here at Polygon, because I guess I didn't read that Polygon article, but Joe was pissed at that Polygon article. So this is what he had to say. Let me just show you guys what the article was. That's this post right here. He quote tweeted himself. There he is. Polygon says Prime Video canceling the Stargate reboot protects cult classic from potential disaster. And then Joe comes in with, well, this is a hastily cobbled together shit take of conjecture and misdirection. You can tell he's pissed. Like that is not.
I read the article and I was pissed.
Wow.
I didn't work on Stargate, the new Stargate show.
Polygon is a rag.
Yeah, like I mean,
course.
like this is so Polygon. Like you could, yeah, this is so Polygon. The author starts by reading grassroots marketing launch as a statement of executive intent. Come on. Announcing series to a fandom alongside its community leaders is standard PR. It is not it's not proof that the show was designed exclusively for fandom. In fact, it was made clear from the start, first and foremost, that the series would function as an accessible entry point for new viewers while still respecting canon. And by the way, respecting canon does not mean requiring new viewers to be familiar with 350 plus hours of existing Stargate programming as this article implies. The author proceeds to support their point by launching into a fan fiction. No quote, no plot details were revealed about this scrapped show, but I can easily imagine. End quote. And they certainly do. What follows is a parade of cliches, a generic legacy sequel checklist that the author has conjured up from nothing and pinned to the new show as predictive evidence. Then comes the claim that Starfleet Academy failed because the showrunners, quote, focused too much on playing tribute to the series past. The series past.
Yeah.
And he's literally like, oh, what? Like, I think that's everyone's just at this point, like, what?
It did not pay any tribute to the series past. Actually, season 2 doesn't even. I'm not going to get into season 2 of Starfleet Academy. I know people that worked on the show. I've been talking to them for the last few days.
I just, but I mean, I've only seen pictures because I don't watch that garbage, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Because that is not Star Trek.
It tries to be. It's like someone who used to see Star Trek like in being played at say the department store on the televisions, and they'd watch like 10 minutes of it while they're waiting for the checkout line, and they think, oh yeah, I get the idea what that is, and then I can write a Star Trek show, and that's what they do. That's mostly Kurtzman's Star Trek for the last.
It really is. Oh, I haven't watched any of it. I refuse. The only thing I've watched is basically Star Trek's Picard season 3, and that's only because you guys said it was good. And it was all right. It was okay.
I had my issues with the Borg stuff. I will say this: my production office does own some property from Star Trek, this current Star Trek era. We got it for very, very cheap.
You can turn it into like Star Trek TNG stuff. Like if you got like chairs and stuff, like you can change this.
We have some desks, some tables, some chairs, some seatings from a number of different Star Trek shows that will not be returning.
Cool. That's actually really cool.
Yeah. pennies on the dollar.
That's actually awesome. So he goes on to say, what? Yes, Starfleet Academy did receive a fair amount of criticism, but strict adherence to canon wasn't on the list of grievances, which is so true. It's like, what are we even talking about
Yeah.
here?
Mhm.
This reads like a comment from someone who likely never even watched the show, much less persuaded peruse the fan response. They state, quote, rebooting the canon also would let the new Stargate showrunner bring back the Gwawuld, the franchise most iconic villains. No, it wouldn't. You know why? Because the Gwawuld are canon. Like, he's so mad. I can just see his face. The article concludes with a disconnected mediation on an old Stargate storyline with no relation to either the new show or the author's own argument. I want to say it was written by AI, but surely AI would display more logical consistency than this. Ouch. That is a scathing
Yeah.
comment.
Yeah,
That
this
was
is a horrible article.
what a
Just
ratio.
they, I can't imagine how they could have done it. They probably will do this. Yeah, he said that they conjectured. I don't know what the plot details, so I'll just imagine what it was. And yeah, that sounds stupid. Sounds like, okay.
Let me report you the
You're
news that
not
I
writing.
don't know. Yeah. I was like, what the hell are you doing? I did see this going around, which I thought, you know what? I think this is exactly why this show got canceled. So a fan shared this. By the way, the fan reception since the cancellation has been incredible. I want you guys to keep going. I talked to Joe. Let's go with the hashtag save Stargate as our hashtag collectively. So if you're out there, please, you guys, at Amazon Studios, at Amazon Prime or Prime HD, whatever it's called, make sure you're tagging them because they will listen to trends. Like, they will listen to trends. I know some people said, let's do petitions, and petitions are good, but they're not trendy. They care about social media. They care about social trends. They care about like all sorts of these kind of stuff. So if you're adding them, if you're bugging them, if you're calling them, some people have been calling Amazon Prime and canceling their memberships and telling them straight up why. Continue to do that kind of stuff. Be polite, but make sure you let them know why you're pissed. And I love seeing all of that kind of stuff. Fan passion, man. It's
Yeah,
great.
call back Stargate, Star 69 Stargate. Anything that's funny with regards to telephones and dialing, because you dial an address on Stargate.
This one that's so funny. Oh my god, we're phoning in. Yeah, you're doing the phone in. This is so this is you're dialing the gate. So this is actually from Dial the Gate, a clip from Dial the Gate, and shout out to them. I reached out. I couldn't get it. I couldn't get a hold of him, but he's a great guy. And I can't even imagine how he feels right now. Probably pretty devastated. So I saw this clip going around and I was like, you know what? This guy is right on. This Colin dude, Colin Cunningham. I think this is exactly what's going on.
I pray sincerely that I'm wrong. I can't see how it would be possible for that show to come back. You cannot make that show today.
I honestly have no idea what show they're talking about. I'm just going to give you the context. But I think this is what's going on still.
You cannot do it. You can't talk about what they talk about. You can't look.
Sounds like Star Trek.
Do I have to say
Probably.
It's repulsive and disgusting that I'm saying this. They won't allow it. They won't, not as you knew it. Sure, there'll be a new one. They'll give it the name, but it won't be anything. It won't have the same themes. It won't have the same values. It won't have the same focus. It won't, Space Force? Yeah, look, you release SG, the new one now, the reboot. Okay, it'll just, no, they won't do it because of the politics, because of the woke garbage, horse, smelly crap, awful, censorious. It's disgusting. It's terrible. It's destroyed creativity.
Yeah, fuck.
And so you're not going to get a show like Stargate. I don't see it coming back as it was. You can't get a show like Friends to come back as it was. Some of the best damn shows in television will never be. They won't do anything like it. It's all paint by numbers, safe, check off all the different boxes.
I think that's what it is. They just want to be safe, man. They don't want to take any risks. They want to be safe.
Yeah.
It's corporate bullshit.
Well,
Go ahead,
hail
Nerd,
to Major
please.
Davis. He's great in Stargate. But Joe Flanagan, he was in they also interviewed him recently.
Oh,
And he basically said the same things, that he hoped that the new show, that the people in charge would treat it as embrace what made Stargate so unique. And also he cited that how much involvement studios have, how much these focus groups and these committees and all these things that get in the way of creativity. And he goes on to say about Stargate being so special in that it was so unique in its wonder and its humor and its blend of that and action and adventure. And he hoped that the new show would embrace what made Stargate so unique in that way. And I don't know. Yeah, it seems that's what was. And he was actually going to go. He was invited to the writers' room shortly after that interview with them. The next week, they invited him in, and he was going to be there. So I was looking forward to hearing anything if he could reveal anything from that. But I guess NDAs, he signed.
Yeah, NDAs.
But everyone, it seems in this environment seems that that's an obstacle, a challenge that they have to overcome. That it's again creativity by committee, and it's destroying art. That's why we can't have nice things.
It really is sad. What's going on? Welcome, Verbal Riot. How you doing?
Hello.
Yeah. Well, what's the worst thing is that some of the people making these decisions are not reading the script. They're reading coverage, which is done by an assistant, which actually might have the agenda of themselves and might actually embellish or essentially lie in that coverage to give pause to the people in charge to make them say, well, if that's what the coverage is reporting on, that's what I'm going to base my decision making on. That's what it could be. Because I've seen situations of that where a great pilot was ready to go to order, and then the head of that department said, yeah, we're canceling it because I don't think it's going to fit the meaning. And then you dig and dig and dig and you find, oh, there's the one pager that they got of it, and the one pager is nothing like the pilot at all. It's completely made up. Only the character names are the same, and basically you find out that the person didn't like the script and decided to make their arbitrary positions into the coverage to inform or mislead the person above to cancel the show. Because this is the one thing that has been discovered over the last 11 years in Hollywood, that your studio grunt job of being a reader has way more power than the head of the studio, because you get to inform the head of the studio what the market is by choosing what gets passed up and what gets rejected. And you do so by way of the coverage. You've manipulated a lot of people in Hollywood and their data sets into thinking that going in the direction of DEI and woke is the way that the market is, and it's absolutely not. And they're never going to admit a mistake, because if you admit a mistake in Hollywood, you never work again. If you just say, well, that's the market and I tried, you got another shot, because you're not taking ownership for your mistake. You're just deferring the mistake to another party that can pass it around, and then you're in the clear. And what's tragic is that studio execs and people within their departments, they don't vet the people that they hire as readers. They just need bodies to come and read and give a summary and go from there. And they're not realizing the fact that these are not people that are genuine interested in production or film. They're interested in narrative and propaganda. And it ends up going both ways, because sometimes you get a whole bunch of studio heads that are like, you know what? Yeah, I think this is a good direction. I think this is where we want to go. And so now they are reinforcing the false data that's being fed to them and trying to push it out to the world to say, no, this is what the information says. This is what we're going to do. And we're doubling down on it generation after generation, which Bob Iger did. And now that he's not at Disney anymore, we have yet to see if the new guy is going to continue with that path, or if he's going to play the same card that every studio head that comes in and just wipe the slate clean and start fresh and go take ownership of those decisions. But
the thing is, though, Disney can't afford to do this anymore, man. Like, I think,
of course they can. They got
no.
So much
I mean,
money.
they had their run. Like every studio's had their run of being woke. They can't afford this shit anymore. They're losing way too much money. If nothing else, Grogu and Mandu was that was a wake up call. Like, I mean, There's been many wake up calls, but this had to be the biggest wake up call. The fact
Did
that they
it
lost
do
out.
worse than Solo? Did it do worse than Solo?
No, but they lost out to 2 YouTubers this weekend.
Well, both of them are relative, have
crazy.
family in the entertainment industry. So I mean, they had a bit of a step
okay,
up
but
over
dude,
them.
they made this. They made these movies for pennies, dude.
Exactly. Yeah, they actually made a real movie on a proper budget without wasting
And
money.
a Star Wars film losing out to those 2 films. That's a wake up
yeah,
call.
and they,
Well, that's brand. Yeah, that's brand
actually
damage.
insane.
Yeah.
and
But-
it was Memorial Weekend, Memorial Holiday Weekend, and of course families would be going to this, but they were seeing other things. We've seen it so many times though with IPs and failures on such a large scale, with Rings of Power's viewership catastrophically dropping,
Wheel
and
of
it does
Time.
not Wheel of Time, and then I mean the costs do not justify those numbers, but they're contracted, so they'll continue. But with Star Wars, yeah, this is a scathing. I mean, they were losing out to a film that was already out for a week and in 1,700 less theaters. And that's insane just to even say out loud that happened.
It's
But
crazy.
I
It's
bet
unheard of.
Disney wishes they had Star Wars fans to get into to buy some of those tickets now. But because there's no new Star Wars fans to come. There's no
there's
new
not.
Stargate fans.
Nope.
You have to generate those.
Mhm.
And the only dedicated built-in fan base that you have is from Stargate fans. That's the value in the brand in an IP. That's why you spent $8.5 billion on MGM's library. And this is insane that you're from the outset just doing such a horrible thing to set the fans against you. You don't have them on your side anymore. And for a niche, I'd say it's more niche, but Stargate's fan base is very loyal and very dedicated. And even though it's not as large as some others, and they were, for the majority, I'd say, in their corner, in Amazon's corner, because of all the good things that we had wanted. And if they're expecting an audience to just come out of nowhere and watch this, they're watching other things. We're in a realm of the pop culture zeitgeist where the new generation has their own stories that they're being brought up in, that they're passionate about. They're not going to go see Stargate or Star Wars just because it was famous at one point. You have to have those existing fans, and they will have positive word of mouth. They will generate new fans. If it's well written, you will get new fans. That's how that works. I don't know what the strategy is for this, but it's again, there's no strategy.
I don't think there's any
This will not
logic.
work.
I think these people are woke. I really do. I think they're coming from Netflix, and I think they're just trying to do like another Rings of Power. I don't know what
They're
Jeff
tech.
Bezos is thinking. They just need to stop.
Well, they're tech people. They're not artists.
They
And
have no
conflate
idea.
the fact that technology is art, and some aspects it can be, but really only someone who has an imagination, who knows how to articulate and express that into words that other people can grasp onto and connect with, can actually do something with that. And again, the only thing Disney's losing right now is reputation, because they are never going to lose money, because they don't use their own money to finance any of the stuff that they do. It's other people's money. In fact, the theaters are hurting more because they're the ones that buy the pre-sales, which pay for the productions. And that's why they get their 50% ticket sales for the first, week, first 10 days. And then they get the diminished returns on that in the future. And Disney, Disney just relocates a lot of that money into their own pockets instead of putting it out onto the actual film. But what they're losing is reputation. But the fact of the matter is that this is just the universe telling Disney that you are not supposed to be a studio. You are a glorified mall operator that has themes that are connected to commercial films that are of public domain property. That's what Disney is. They tried breaking into that part there with Power Rangers, because that was the biggest franchise in the 90s, and they purchased that. They botched that to hell. They had to sell it back to the owner for half of what they paid for. Then they tried it again with Star Wars and Marvel. And what have they done? Well, because they've never created anything real in their life except for brilliant filmmaking technology like tech companies, they have diminished the reputation of those brands. And the other part too is, like, the 2 YouTubers, they built an audience first that was
That's
willing
true.
to
They had pretty good audiences.
that was willing to give them a shot when they debuted into film, just like Markiplier did with Iron Lung. But That's only half the battle. The next part is, can they do it again on their next film? And the thing is, like, indie film has not gone away. It's always been there. The difference being is that advertisement behind it has always been the hardest part. And these three YouTubers spent a decade advertising and building an audience so that they could have this type of success. And a
Mhm.
lot of other independent filmmakers just don't have that time or those resources in order to pull that off, because YouTube and social media is so oversaturated. To break out and get a few million people to watch you on a regular basis with your short films or commentary stuff requires a grind that a normal filmmaker just does not have the time to do, because you have to balance on building your production and getting that all situated. Then at the same time, uploading and maintaining a YouTube channel,
Yeah,
pretty
but
much
I
7
think
days a week.
that grind paid off, man. I
Oh, it
mean,
did for them,
It
but
did.
a lot of them started out having fun, doing it on their spare time, and then they started getting money to finance into it, and then they slowly started building up. And the guy who made Obsession, I mean, his dad is a professional screenwriter, so he had like one-on-one mentorship and make sure that he was being pushed to actually experiment and do things and push on the edge. Because the brilliant thing about Obsession is the fact that you find out that there's two of the same woman and stuck in the same body, and the twist. And that's all I'm going to say from there.
Spoiler alert! I haven't seen it.
Yeah, but I haven't told you how it works and functions.
yeah, it's Nina, you
God.
got to see it. And
I'm
look,
going
to those
to.
guys' credit, man. They
See
didn't know, like,
Backrooms first.
they
I
didn't know that this
will.
film was going to be as big as it was. Same thing with
Right.
Backrooms, right? Like, they didn't really know.
Same
But
with
I
Iron
think
Lungs.
here's
They
the
didn't
thing,
know.
man. Like, yeah, they got a lot to prove in their next film, but I think they have so much good like will behind them now
Yeah.
They built it
that
up
I
authentically.
think their
that's why.
next film is going to do just as well as
Yeah.
their first, because they have goodwill. The problem is Disney burnt out their goodwill, right?
So
Warner
much.
Disney never
Brothers
had
burnt
it. It
out
was
their
always
goodwill
fake.
for the most part. I mean, I still
Yeah.
think F1 was like one of the best movies of the year last year, but
Mhm.
Definitely. That was a good movie.
but for the
That
most
was
part,
a
they
good
burned
movie.
out their goodwill. A lot of these big studios have burnt out goodwill, and that's the problem, right? People aren't going to go to the theaters and show up and pay $20 to watch bullshit, man.
And to your point, Verbal, Amazon has now burned a lot of goodwill with
Oh, absolutely, they
with
have
the
with the
Stargate
boys,
fans.
with Stargate, all this stuff, man. Like it's getting
No,
to the point now
but
where
that's the
people are
thing. That's
canceling their Amazon.
yeah, they're canceling Amazon. I really don't think these people understood how crazy awesome the Stargate fans specifically are. Like the Stargate fans, they have been holding on to this franchise that hasn't been around for years. They bug showing them every stream, every time, in every interview. They show up at the cons. They're constantly buying things that the merch for Stargate. They love Stargate. I don't think these people understood the passion that these people feel. And speaking of passion, I have a few super chats and rumble rants that I got to get to. So just give me 1 second here. Thank you, everyone, for coming through tonight. Please make sure you smash the like and share the stream if you're enjoying the show. Thank you so much. One Punch Man fan, thank you very much for your Rumble rants here. You got a $20 Rumble rant. Thank you very much. The Stargate's my favorite of all the Star films that and show. So this was a sad day. I'm sorry, man. I'm so sorry. That sucks. And just keep going though. Keep pushing. Retweet people, tweet people, tag Amazon. You never know. Like, I mean, the other day, I don't know if you guys heard or not, but there was like all this drama with Tom Hardy and Mobland. Did you guys hear about that? Like how
Yeah.
he may have gotten fired or whatever because there was like all this drama with him and Dame Helen Mirren, and that the backlash was so big about that firing that the studios were like, never mind, we're gonna work it out. We're gonna work it out. He's coming back. It's okay. We're gonna work it out. So as far as I know, he actually has not been fired now. He's been like unfired, and they're working on basically bringing him back. So these kind of decisions can be undone in a moment the way they were done. So keep pushing, man. Keep making some noise online. Cancel your Amazon accounts if you want to, but let them know why you're doing it and just be polite and keep pushing. You guys never know, like this kind of stuff, they do pay attention. Matthew Hammond, thank you so much for the 2. Says Martin Jarrow's mistake was not immediately going into production like Alex Kurtzman to prevent cancellation to make it extremely expensive to do so. Do you have a comment on that, Script Doctor? I don't know.
Let me see here. Martin Geo's mistake was not immediately going into production like Alex Kurtzman to prevent cancellations from make. Well, first of all, Alex Kurtzman came in early stages of pre-production at the behest of the studio, so he wasn't able to force it in there. That was going whether Alex Kurtzman came in or not. It was already scheduled and ready to go. On top of that, even as a showrunner, yeah, there's still checks and balances that have to be made before you can actually go into actual production. Like I mean, once you deliver all the scripts that they need and they get the approval to go into pre-production, you're off to the races on pre-production. You cannot rush that just to try and film something and hope that'll squeeze through, because in some cases you could even get to the point where you're midway through actual filming, and if a regime change happens and they say, okay, you know what, I'm in charge now, I don't want to do this, and we're cutting it, and you stop. And that's it. And that happens. There's nothing you can do. You cannot force a show into existence if a head of a studio says, no, we're not doing it. I mean, it just can't.
It's like that Seinfeld clip that I played in the earlier. It's like, no, I just don't like you. Like
it's more authentic than you want it to be, but it's sadly the truth.
Sometimes there's just human aspects to it too. Like one person's just not liking the other person, and just like, no, I just don't like you. You know, like sometimes there's like those kind of things do play out as well. Matthew Hammond, thank you for the $2. Says they are going to Netflix Stargate and add gay race communism. I think you're right. I do think you're right. One Punch fan. That's why we have to save it. We can't let the Gold win this one, guys. One Punch fan, thank you for the $2. Says as a long-awaited fan, Nina, when are we getting Toxic Femme back? Oh, I don't know when or if. There was just like way too many scheduling conflicts with people, and I love those guys, but I think we're good right now, separate. But they're always welcome on this channel, and I'm always welcome on theirs. So you'll see us again. I mean, Midnight's Edge was on here a couple weeks ago, and I had the ladies on with me last week. This Force of Light ladies came on last week. We're planning on doing another one soon with the Good News Show, because apparently Natalie really liked hanging out with me. So she was like, I really like you. Like she told me through Michelle that she enjoyed streaming with me. So I was like, come on, the Good News Show. We can have some wholesome discussions, which you're also always welcome on, Elaine, if you're ever wanting to come and talk about good news.
Whenever I can, I love to chat with you.
Absolutely. You're always welcome. You have open invite to this channel. You know that. And also we had, thank you, Rick, again for another gifted memberships. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. You guys are awesome. Thank you. And you are so awesome. Thank you, Adega. Adega and we hung out with Joe. That's how I know him. We would hang out on Orville Nation's channel every week and talk to Joe about his show Dark Matter, which is really interesting because I have a little side story. One of the reasons that I even act like I had this really dead Twitter back in the day, and it was just I just had an account, you just make one. And one of those one of the reasons I even started going on there at all was because I was so mad the Dark Matter got canceled. I was so mad. I was like, no, I'm bringing the show back. I started the petition. I went crazy. I was like, why would you cancel the show? And I was with my 2 follower account, there was no blue check marks back then. I was like, I'm going to bring the show back. So I went crazy online about that show. And then years later, I found out when I started YouTubing, I was like, oh my God, I love that show. I saw Orwell Nation was streaming with Joe. And I was like, that was one of my favorite shows of all time. And then so I went on there and I got an invite and I went on there, and that's how I met Joe. We would hang out every week and we would talk about the show, and it was really cool. But this kind of reminds me of back then. But now I have even more viewers and more followers. So that I'm like, it's okay. We will get this back, Joe. Like this is something from like a couple years ago. I think it's funny, but probably not so funny for Joe because he's like, damn it, another show canceled. So this is
Yeah, it's pretty
not
painful.
so funny.
I mean,
it is painful.
Sadly, a lot of writers go there.
Yeah, so many people.
I mean,
It's sad.
mean,
Rings
there's
of
so many-
Power still exists, and
There is
heartbreaking.
so many false
not there.
starts. I have lost count on the amount of shows that I've pitched that got very close, even to the point where you're in pre-production, you got storyboarding, and you're putting out casting calls, and all of a sudden, it's just pulled. Everything's just pulled right from under you, and you just go back to square one again. That's the industry. It's not ideal. I empathize with Joe.
I do too. My God. And,
I mean-
Rick, it's really good. Dark Matter is a great show. Unfortunately, it just doesn't have a great ending because it didn't end. Like that was the problem. They canceled it. But Joe is such a great guy that he went and wrote the fans like the script of what he was planning on doing and he released it on his website. Like this dude is such a good guy and he cares about the fans so much. He didn't have to do that, but he did.
But what's funny
I
though is
went
like
and
more and more
read-
shows, like more shows today get like an ending, dude. Like back in the 80s, man, shows just ended. Like there was like no big finale or this is how it all ends. It's like there's a season and then there's just nothing.
Yeah.
I think it
So
was
at
like
least
MASH,
and these
but-
days we get a lot more endings to shows than we got back in the day.
Yeah, I think the biggest actual ending that a series ever had was MASH, because that was like
Yeah.
that was like the first one, and then everything else kind of followed up. Like, oh, we can actually make a lot of money on ratings for an official series finale, and not just not bringing the show back.
Yeah,
I
that
never
was
got-
it. They
I
just
never
won't
got
bring it
into
back.
MASH.
So good luck if you were like really into a show,
oh, MASH is great. I think it's on Hulu.
Really? I never
Still.
got into it. Like I remember I liked the song. Do 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 do. I still remember it because it was like after something that I really liked. What was I watching? that
See,
was
when the theme
after?
song from Ass came on, when my household, that's when we knew it was time to go to bed. Like when we heard that song, it's like, okay, bedtime.
Oh my God.
Aw.
Yeah, it was during the day when it was on for me. So I was like, it was like something like, I don't know, maybe it was like, I think it was Full House or something I would watch. And it was like after it. But it was like, it
Now,
was one of
granted,
those
I mean,
shows.
shows did get 24 episodes back in those days. So I mean,
I
Yeah.
know. I mean,
That's like
they
3
got close to
seasons now.
30 episodes in the 60s and 70s. It wasn't until the 80s where they started downsizing to 25, and then 90s 23 to 24, and then
Yeah.
2000s 22, and 2010s
Yeah.
back to
and now it's like 6
18,
episodes every 3
6
years.
to 8 episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate it. I hate it. Can they bring back the 24 episode situation? Because
Well, there was a
not
lot of filler
interested.
episodes back then too. So
Yeah, but the
I'm
filler episodes
fine
kind of
with
buy you time
fillers.
to make a good episode. That's the thing. It's like
I'm fine with filler. See, that was actually one of the things I really liked about Stargate is it had a lot of filler episodes, but in the filler episodes, you get to know the characters more. Like you just get to know them better. You get to like understand what drives them and like why they make the decisions they make when it's like the main episodes. You're like, oh yeah, of course he would do that because that's the kind of character he is. He did that in this episode, and it makes you get to know characters better. And I really
Yeah.
miss that format of TV.
They don't have TV like that anymore.
no, they
no,
really don't.
they really
Well,
don't.
I don't know, except for formula shows like was it Law and Order and stuff like that. But
those, they're tentpole dramas. Well, it comes down to the fact that cable started getting too expensive, and people were cutting the cords, and they're switching over to Netflix, which means you kill your advertising wing, which means the advertisers are what paid for your shows. So if they're not bidding on the shit shows for the commercial advertisements because they're less frequently done, then they're not supporting network television, and their network television starts to die, and you got streaming, and now streaming is realizing that the subscription model, which they could have just looked at World of Warcraft to see where they were going to be in 5 years, because World of Warcraft was huge and they're making money hand over fist. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, we have to release way more content to retain the subscriber count. And that's burning all of our developers out to the point where now we have diminishing returns. And it's like, yeah, that's what happens with the subscriber based thing, is that people get sick and tired of it. And then they will stop paying, just like with cable. But the reason cable was able to hang on so well is that there were a handful of new channels that would debut every year. And some of those channels would be successful and some of them would die, and then other ones would die as well. But everything kind of had enough of a variety to it that it was able to be a little bit more sustaining. And then on top of that, with network and advertisers paying for network to essentially exist, it was a foundational industry that helped support everything else that was going on in Hollywood. And the streamers said, no, we're not doing that model. And the money started to go away because even small businesses that would pay, a few $100,000 for a 20-second ad couldn't afford it anymore because they weren't getting not enough people watching the shows that they were buying the ads for because they're all watching streaming, and their business wasn't making any money from those ads. So they decided to pull that out. And then eventually those businesses, belly up.
Are they still doing product placement?
Product placement isn't the same anymore because well, sadly,
they don't have the live studio audience.
The main viewing audience does not have the finance to buy a car or a vacation or buy a motorcycle or do anything. They are broke. I mean, we are in a recession that has been covered up by the veneer of prosperity right now. So a lot of countries think that they're doing really well, and it's really just the eye of the storm because a recession has already hit. We're about a year and a half into it, and there's a handful of countries that are doing everything they can to not acknowledge it, and people are starting to realize it.
Although I do think Coca-Cola paid for this whole season of Euphoria this past.
I haven't checked it out yet.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There was a lot of Coca-Cola placement
is like
in Euphoria.
Really spicy. I heard the last episode's really spicy.
I don't even get what Euphoria is, man. Like I just
dude, here's the thing. Here's the thing. First two seasons were great. This season, this third season, I guess is the final season. Fucking awful. Season. And that finale was some bullshit.
I'm not even kidding. Like, you know what's sad is that I've been hearing some colleagues of mine talking about how they just wrapped shooting Dutton Ranch, the spin-off.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, Taylor Sheridan's still kind of involved and still got a lot of the same stuff, but it's not the same. And
I didn't watch the last 5 episodes or whatever it was. I didn't even know it got released. Remember when we were doing the review for?
Oh yeah.
We were like, I was waiting for the last what was it, 5 episodes or whatever it was to release forever, and it never happened. And then when it did happen, I was like, I've forgotten everything that was the show. I don't even think.
But even with Taylor
anymore.
Sheridan, I think even his shine is starting to wear off, man.
People are starting to see what I pointed out a couple of years ago. He is a soap opera writer that tries to hide it under masculinity, but he doesn't have any masculinity in him.
Yeah,
funny.
I don't like his soap opera stories.
No, they're not great. But I think what he's doing is he's literally hiring actors to run his ranch, and he's filming a television show around it. Because there's so much B-roll of actors moving cattle around. It's like, you don't just do that. Like the cattle are grazing. You're literally bought your land. You're shooting on your own land. You own the cattle, and you're having the actors who have a little bit of experience riding horses, but they're helping you move the cattle, and you're paying them to do it. And you're also selling the show. So you're making 100% profit off your ranch and your television show at the same time.
But it also shows you though, man, just how short your role as a golden boy in Hollywood comes to an end, man. It's Taylor Sheridan was untouchable a year ago.
I heard Landman is good.
Chris Nolan was untouchable a year ago, but I mean, within that year, man, I guarantee you. Look,
Chris Nolan's over.
I'm probably really wrong as hell. I think the Odyssey is going to bomb. I really do. I don't think this is going to be the home run that Nolan thinks is going to be. I think it's
Verbal.
Just too
can
much.
You keep that thought? Because I actually wanted to talk about that with Elaine too. I just wanted to read this. Michael Shanks says, I'm here for this too. He's been vocal. He's been very vocal about what's going on. I love this. He's like, I started GoFundMe to fly a banner over Amazon Studios corporate headquarters. Please share this. I love this idea. It says save Stargate. Let's do that. Let's freaking go with this guy. Let's go. Freaking save Stargate.
Redial Stargate, call back Stargate, save Stargate, Star 69 Stargate, everything phone pun. Every phone pun of it imaginable for Stargate. 1-800 Stargate. You.
Everything. I'm putting this GoFundMe. I'm putting this fundraiser in the chat, you guys. Go and pitch in for this situation. This is hilarious. Can you imagine somebody makes this? Come on.
It's not too late, Amazon. It's not too
It's
late.
not. It's
You
not too
can
late.
fix this. You can fix this. You can say if it's a was Mobland situation,
Mhm.
you can turn this around. And
You
if
can.
the only option is to undo this and hope that you have some goodwill left, or I don't know if it's even possible to license this out to another studio, because I feel like you have such a stink on you now with Amazon
Mhm.
and Stargate. I don't think anything that's going to come out from them in the future will have any there'll be no chance of success. You don't have the fans on your side, and there's not going to be new fans that are just suddenly wanting to check it out. They
Nope.
have their interests, they have the stories that they're watching, that they're into. You needed those fans to be on your side and to generate that hype, and you don't have that anymore. You have an extreme amount of ill will now, and
Mhm.
I don't even know how they. Why would you do this? I don't know why.
It's so crazy.
License it
Elaine,
out. Get
you
another
and I
studio,
and
please.
Anna were talking
Apple.
about this when a few weeks ago, right? Like a couple months ago, when we were talking about like all the stuff that was going on and how we're so excited about the situation, about the writers and
Mhm.
everything like that, right? And
Yeah.
remember how like there was like some negative comments in the chat, like we don't trust Amazon and blah blah blah. But we're like,
Yeah.
look, if it sucks, we're gonna be the first to be like shitting on it for you. Like, don't worry. This is worse almost than like
Yeah, I'd
we didn't
rather
even
them not do it.
go.
I'd rather
Oh
them
my
not
god.
pursue it any further. And there's still some people saying, "Oh, well, this is good news. Amazon's not going to do a thing." No, they're going to still do something. They're going to
They're
pursue
gonna do
something
it.
with Stargate, but this time they're
Mhm.
not going to have the fans in mind. They're not
Yeah.
going to have these Stargate veterans that care
Mhm.
about uh, honoring the legacy, honoring the IP, and honoring the fans, while even crafting new stories that new fans would enjoy. No, now who knows what we're going to get. So this is actually the worst outcome that we
Nightmare.
didn't want. Yes, this is our worst nightmare now
Mhm.
realized. So
It's
this isn't
awful.
good. I'd rather
It's
them
not.
not do anything. Cancel it all. Okay, if you're not going to do it, you don't do it. Shut it down.
It's terrible. It's just such a terrible situation. Now, to Verbal's topic for the Odyssey, because we can go back to Stargate if we have anything else to say, but I did want to get your thoughts on this, Elaine, because I mean, this whole like speaking of woke, right? I mean, it's just this Odyssey situation has been so bad. I saw this and I want to get your thoughts on it, Elaine.
Oh no.
Mostly because the
What
two
now?
dudes here are not, I mean, I don't think you guys are gay men, Verbal and Script. I'm pretty sure you guys are both heterosexual men. So I don't think this is going to interest you. But these are the men of the Odyssey. And they had a
What is
photo
this?
shoot. This is the men of the Odyssey, and they had a photo shoot for GQ where they decided to be really gay. I don't know what's going on with the Odyssey,
What's
but
with these magazines now and photo shoots?
mean,
oh my god.
Yeah, it's gay because it's white man, but if it was Seal doing those poses, it'd be masculine looking
What's
because
with
that's
that?
kind of his vibe, right?
Look. Here's the thing. Like, obviously,
What is that?
there was a lot of gay shit with the Greeks, right? Like,
Yeah.
we're not supposed to do anything
what?
that the
What am I
Greeks
looking
weren't
at
fucking
with
gay as
this?
fuck,
What
because they
is-
were, right, back in the day.
And yes, in the day,
but at
sodomy
least they
was a
still look
cool-
like men. They wouldn't have done this shit, right? Sure,
What
they
is
would have
this?
been banging each other in the ass, but they would have been, taking pictures like this. It's just goofy, man. Like, I just feel like who is this for? Who is this for? Who are they marketing
It's certainly
this to?
not for women, especially this photo shoot, because Elaine,
It's not for women. It's not for men. Who is
Nah.
it for?
what is going on with this picture? Like, I don't even know what's happening.
Is it
Where
for
are his
people
legs?
that
Are they
identify
in-
as its? Like this.
His legs
I-
are, I don't know.
I feel like I've seen very questionable photo shoots before for magazines that are connected with the film's promos. I think the drama with Robert Pattinson and Zendaya had some very odd photo shoots too.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I think it's
that
just
was nuts.
I think it's just to get attention. Honestly, this is
Like
They
Dennis
gotta know
Rodman
they look
back in the
ridiculous.
90s, you know, he's
But
wearing a
here's
wedding
the
dress
thing,
going to a
though,
basketball
Elaine.
game.
Here's the thing, though. Like, if this is the Odyssey, right? Like, don't you think it would have gotten as much attention if they were actually dressed up in these outfits? Like, let's say with their shirts off. Like he should be wearing,
I
like
don't know
this.
what the strategy, the entire marketing campaign.
We need some sex appeal, man. Like, what the hell is this?
I was
Like
so
what
excited
is
for this
that? What
movie.
the fuck is that?
I don't know, but
Drop
that is
the hip.
what's going on with the shirt there? It looks like he's got a flat paddle.
play
Yeah,
tennis?
I don't know. I think no, wait. These are the pockets of the pants. I
But
think.
look up
Break
there,
his-
like see the
sprain
coarse
his hip?
edge?
This
the
looks
coarse
like a
edge
photo
of
shoot
the
from Marie
sash.
Claire, dude. Like, what is this?
It's GQ. It's supposed to be GQ.
Well, it's not. It's
Hold
God,
on,
the
we're
whole
gonna zoom
marketing
in.
campaign for the Odyssey has been so strange, and I was so looking forward to this movie.
Me too.
When this was announced, Christopher Nolan, the Odyssey.
Oh,
That's
I
all
was
I
dreading
knew.
it.
Well, I was just so hyped because I've been actually craving, and I didn't realize this. I've been craving epic fantasy, the swords and sandals for a while, and to see. But what I wanted, I guess that is just my expectations, I guess, clouding my judgment. I wanted to see something that would honor those old Harryhausen films,
Yes.
Sinbad and Jason and the Argonauts. I thought it'd be
Yes.
so cool for them to honor that and modernize it in that respect as far as the technical achievements of it.
Like I know people are tired of me saying this, but I'm gonna keep saying it, man. I said it from the beginning. Nolan was not the guy for this project. He never was. I love Nolan.
Yeah.
Before this, like I would go to bat for Nolan. I would stand 10 toes down for him. But I knew he was wrong for this project. He's not the guy. He's not the guy to make a movie about gods and monsters. That's not him.
No,
you know,
he's
give it to
not the
Peter
fantasy
Jackson, give
whimsy
it to
guy.
like, you know, Guillermo del Toro, give it to any of those directors, and
Del
we'd have a hell of a
Toro.
movie.
Robert Rodriguez would do a better.
Absolutely.
Odyssey, easily.
Even Rodriguez, right? I would take that. Nolan was just not the guy for this, and I don't know who he pissed off to where like he had to go like super woke for this movie. Like I don't know who he pissed off.
I think he just
apparently
wants
he
more
did.
awards. He just wants the Oscars, man. I don't think
He already
anything
has
to
an
do with
Oscar.
that.
He already has the money. So what?
He wants more.
What happened?
What
He just
happened?
wants
Well,
more.
I'll put it to you this way. I started to suspect that Nolan was the best of the frauds from The Dark Knight because of one scene, grabbing a fingerprint off of a fired bullet, treating a bullet as if the bullet casing goes with the bullet as well. If you're a director and co-writer and you don't know how a bullet works, claiming to be a British American, you don't care about the art you're telling. You just care about the sensationalism that you're trying to do, or you're trying to have fun with the reality of our world and injecting it into fantasy, as opposed to trying to make fantasy so convincing it feels like reality. He's inverted. And then I saw Inception. I'm like, oh, you don't understand dreams. and then I saw
I actually really did like
Interstellar, and I'm like,
Inception.
oh, you don't understand science fiction. And then we saw Tenet, and you're like, wow, you really don't understand science fiction.
I liked
then we saw
Interstellar
Oppenheimer,
too. I like
it's
both.
Well, I saw Oppenheimer. I'm like, it's a good movie, but it's based off of one book that's heavily debated for being full of conjecture and BS.
Mm.
And it's like, and then I realized early on, Nolan doesn't read. He doesn't do a research. He comes up with an idea and he says, let's just make it that way. And then he spends more time marketing himself as an auteur director. And when you take a look at how he's marketed and the actual content that he produces, they are diametrically opposed. They don't align. Like even his Dunkirk, which was pretty neat to watch. I know experts of that battle that are like, I don't know what he shot, but that was not Dunkirk.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting.
Because Miss Nolan is okay. So I'll put it to you this way. I've said this on streams before. J.J. Abrams wishes he was Christopher Nolan, and he strives to be. And
Who?
J.J. Abrams
Oh,
wishes
J.J.
he was
Abrams,
Christopher
okay.
Nolan. Christopher Nolan wishes he was Stanley Kubrick, but he's not. And he's never going to come close. And the other
That's
part too
crazy.
that's absolutely tragic is that Christopher Nolan, as a director, gets about 6 to 9 months of people talking about his movie after it's released, and then never are his films ever brought up again. Not even in film schools
Wow.
are they brought up
Ouch.
again.
And
That's,
do you?
I mean, Guillermo del Toro, people still talk about all of his movies.
Yep.
They still
Pan's
talk about Pan's
Labyrinth.
Labyrinth to this day.
Yes,
Mhm.
Yeah.
frequently.
This is a really gay photo, you guys. This looks like some sort of like, I don't know what this is, but
Horseplay.
this looks like some type of pillow fight without the pillows
What is happening?
with
Actually,
sand.
what am I seeing?
I don't.
It's like a sand
This
fight.
is
Are they
probably
holding him
more
back?
gay. This is probably more gay than the volleyball scene in Top Gun.
Yeah, that's pretty
What
gay.
the fuck? This is the gayest shit ever. Well, welcome to Pride Month, people. Because this is really gay.
Is this normal? Like what? Because I don't remember in the past of Christopher Nolan's marketing his films, but I feel like there's a difference here with the very
Well, he's-
strange marketing with 60 Minutes interviews.
So he's not with Warner
And-
Brothers anymore. He's with Sony now.
Oh.
Because of the whole
Oh,
issues
that's
with
right.
his day and date and with Tenet, he severed his contract with Warner Brothers and Legendary. And now he does his own thing, and he's with Sony. And
So he's
Sony
making
has
these
their marketing
choices.
department.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I
Well,
keep
that
seeing,
would
gayer
explain it.
pictures.
Well, the thing is that Christopher Nolan is a man who he's a filmmaker that rejects the concept of fantasy and imagination. Because again, every movie that he has made, he's always said, "I want to make it real and convincing."
Yeah.
He manipulates the art to fit reality as opposed to manipulating reality. Art to fit. He manipulates art to fit reality as opposed to making the art so good it feels real. And that's not what a director's supposed to do. But I will say this: he knows how to get performances out of actors.
Yes,
But his craft and his narrative,
this is a good picture. This
he-
I'm down with this picture. This is fine.
like
This
if you
is
want to know
alright.
the story beat of a Christopher Nolan film, the first 30 minutes of it is front loaded with nothing but exposition, and then the rest of it is the movie played out as it should. Like, and you'll usually have Michael Caine be sitting at a table or something and giving the exposition because Michael Caine can make exposition sound like it's not exposition. But that's how he does. He front loads his movie with a ton of information, and then your mind is now conditioned with that information. You don't get all of it, but it now just starts to play out exactly as he front loaded it.
But you know what though? Here's the thing. Yeah, he's the best of the frauds, but at least his movies were entertaining, right? And I agree with you. Like script, I as much as I loved not Inception, which I did like it, but as much as I loved Interstellar, the science was goofy as fuck. I mean,
Yeah.
Of course.
it
Yeah.
made no sense. I'm like, okay,
Yeah, when we walked out of the theater, my husband was like, "This is like science fiction for dummies." Like, I was like, yeah,
yeah.
pretty
I
much.
mean, it's not smart.
I mean,
Okay.
the thing is like in the 60s and 70s, if Nolan was in the 60s and 70s, he would have been a director. He'd be in like the flash and pan director. Like the Hammer House films. Like be like,
Yeah.
we get to see a Nolan film, and then you just kind of in one ear out the other type of thing. But you're not disappointed by it. It's just it feels like Chinese food. Yeah, it's delicious, but at the end you're kind of hungry again. Maybe you want to go across the street, grab a burrito with Guillermo del Toro, and feel full. But the thing is, like, yeah, he is the best of the best, and I don't disagree with that. But he is lacking the authenticity that you would get from better directors that don't have the same strategy and self promotion. Because again, when it comes to the every Christopher Nolan film, it's Christopher Nolan's name first before it is the IP, always. Just like how it's J.J. Abrams' production first before it's the IP. Just how Steven Spielberg, in the 90s, switched over to it's a Steven Spielberg film for whatever he was doing after. Because beforehand, and it was Jaws. It wasn't Steven Spielberg's Jaws or Steven Spielberg Presents Jaws. It was Jaws. Then it was
just
Raiders of the
Jaws.
Lost Ark. Then it was E.T., and it just kept going. And then it wasn't until the 90s where it's like Steven Spielberg presents and Steven Spielberg does and Steven Spielberg directs. Once you put the director ahead of the story they're trying to tell, it's no longer about the story they're trying to tell. It's about the director. You're
Speaking
selling
of
the director.
speaking of Steven Spielberg, he's got a new Alien one coming out. What is it called?
Disclosure Day. And it's one of the
Disclosure
few
Day.
things where I've seen Disclosure Day being put before his name. It's like Disclosure Day by Steven Spielberg, as opposed to Steven Spielberg.
Have you read the script? Like,
No,
have heard anything about
it's
it?
been under lock and key. No one I know has a copy of it. And I'm looking. I liked the trailer, so I'm curious to see if this is some old school Spielberg magic kind of reinvented.
Yeah,
for the
I like the
21st
trailer
century.
too. It's rare that I like a trailer these days, and I'm like, oh, that trailer was actually pretty good. But Elaine just had to step away. But when she comes back, I'd love to hear her thoughts on it because I know she's into sci-fi. But this picture here, this is clearly like Narcissus. I mean, it has to be. That's really funny that they they did this. He's looking at himself in a puddle.
I thought he was looking at the scorpion.
He's reflecting while he's reflecting.
Is that what is going on? It's the scorpion? No, this is Narcissus. He's looking at himself. It's
Well,
his
there's a
own
scorpion in the
reflection.
shot for some reason. I don't
There is
know.
a
It looks like
scorpion
when
in
he's
the
looking
shot
at
for some
himself,
reason.
like the eye line looks like it's going straight for the scorpion, in my opinion.
That is true. You're right. It is kind of doing that. We were just talking about Disclosure Day, Elaine. Are you interested in seeing it? Any thoughts
yeah.
about?
Well, I'm
Steven Spielberg?
excited. Hopefully, it's good.
I
Because
thought
I'm
the
hearing
trailer was good.
conflicting themes, but it looks great. Steven Spielberg, UFOs, and John Williams scoring, and it looks good. Looks interesting to me.
Yeah, and Emily Blunt. I love Emily Blunt. I was like, oh,
Yeah, that trailer was really interesting. It was really intrigued me. So yeah, I'm excited to see it. We'll see.
Yeah, me too. I'm actually. It was weird too because I was like, I think I was telling you, Script Doctor, a few months ago, where I was like, I could really use a classic Spielberg sci-fi right about now. Like I was like, I really just wanted to watch one, and all of a sudden it's like here it is. I was like, oh, he heard me. That's nice. he's working on it. So Elaine, so you're looking forward to the Odyssey.
Man, it's so. If they had not marketed this film, I'd be in a much better place.
I agree.
I think
same thing with James Gunn too. Stop marketing your movies,
dude.
Making it worse.
I think the craziest part about the Odyssey for me is the idea that okay, Lupita Nyong'o. Okay, fine. Like she's black and she's Helen.
She's pretty, but the thing
she's
is,
playing two roles.
But that's what I was gonna
that I
say.
have, yeah.
That's the biggest problem.
They're not
for
identical
me.
twins. That's
They're not identical twins. It makes zero sense that they would be identical twins. Like they needed to have at least cast another one for the sister because Helen was the deity sister and the other one's the mortal sister, and like they're supposed to look completely different because if they look the same, why the hell would you have a Trojan War?
Well,
why isn't he explaining that?
That goes back to the fact that Christopher Nolan does not read or do research into the films with which he directs.
It's insane.
All you have to do is read the Odyssey. Like you can read the plain English version that doesn't have the fun, a rhythm to it, and you'll completely understand. Oh yeah, Helen of Troy, born of Zeus when he posed as a goose and made love to a woman and hatched 2 eggs, but one was demigod, the other one was mortal, and there's 4 kids in total, and it's all confusing, but not at the same time. And then you have the golden apple, and then
it's crazy.
Yeah, I just and I like Lupita.
I
as
do
an actress,
too.
I think she's gorgeous. But honestly, at the entire cast, I honestly have an issue with. I'm not immersed. The trailers did not do anything to feel like I was in a fantasy world. I feel like I'm looking at Tom Holland. I feel like I'm looking at Anne Hathaway just with her Botoxed face. It just does not fit within.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm seeing Zendaya from Dune. I'm like, okay, she's supposed to be Athena. She looks like the girl from Dune. I don't know what are you talking about?
And the same actors that I know Christopher Nolan likes to use the same actors, but why? Why wouldn't you want to have? I don't know. I get it for 1 or 2 main actors that are very known to general audiences. I get that, but I'm tired, I guess, or fatigued from seeing the same actors all the time in these big budget movies and all the time in Christopher Nolan movies. And
it feels like
it
a
seems
Saturday
like
Night
he's
Live sketch. It does.
There's very superfluous reasons that he just, oh, well, I like working with these, or they've never turned down a role that I've offered them. So, and I feel like
I don't hate that because like there's like, for example, Wes Anderson does that all the time. Like he'll just cast the same people that he's always worked with. But
he casts actors that can transform far more convincingly.
Yes, Matt Damon, though, I don't think was the right choice to lead this. I don't know. And I like Matt Damon. I do. I love these actors.
I would prefer Josh Hartnett as Odysseus because he's got a little bit more youth to him, but he's also got something else going on because he stood out for me in Oppenheimer.
I think that out of everyone involved, Matt Damon's probably the best cast. But like everybody else, I was like, what the fuck
And then they
is
have
going
dialogue
on
that's
with
like,
that?
let's go. And then he shuffles off to the screen in a very awkward
Oh
way.
yeah,
Or
contemporary dialogue. Yeah.
and then contemporary
Ooh.
dialogue. There's just so many things like that that's just killed all of my anticipation. And it's very sad. But kudos to Denis Villeneuve, because that trailer was fire for Doom Part 3. And I
Yeah.
am
Mhm.
super hyped. I don't think that the Odyssey is going to take away from Dune's shine
I'm
or
so
come
hyped
award
for
season.
Dune 2, like Dune 3. I'm
Dune
so
Part 3, yeah.
hyped for Dune 3 too. It's so it is gonna be so freaking lit.
Yeah, like that trailer in comparison to the Odyssey, it's crazy how different it is. Like I was immediately immersed, and I'm skeptical about some things, definitely in terms of Chani storyline,
yeah,
but
yeah.
man,
me
that's just
too.
incredible things. You definitely know that we're in for at least a incredible cinematic experience.
Freaking
And if it's
epic.
yeah,
It's
and if it's
epic.
close to Paul Atreides' storyline, which it has been up to this point as far as the main character,
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
gonna be incredible with an incredible ending. So, yeah, it just completely
Excited.
different styles. I felt immersed in a fantasy universe, and with the Odyssey, is anti-immersion. There was nothing in it that really roped me in. It's very disappointing to see. I mean, I am a fan of Christopher Nolan's work in his previous movies, but I don't know. It's sad to see a point when a director gets to a certain point in their careers where they are kind of stagnant creatively.
Mhm.
And I don't know, they just maybe lose that hunger, that drive, that skin in the game that they needed when they were up and coming, and that new creators are demonstrating now. I don't know, that's just completely different what I'm seeing in previous directors that you once saw, that passion, that drive, that hunger, that poured their blood, sweat, and tears into these movies to make it successful, to have Jaws and Star Wars and
Mhm.
Indiana Jones, to make those stories so
Apocalypse
epic.
Now, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Speaking
then
of
they reach a
which,
certain point, they're too fat and happy. I don't know.
there's another one that is probably gonna bomb. Freaking Supergirl.
Yep.
Yeah, that's another one I was kind of curious about, and now I'm like, stop marketing your movies. It's making
Yeah.
it worse.
I'm the same way, Lynn, because I was like, at the beginning, I was like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. I
Social
like
media is
Supergirl.
well, social media is where marketing goes these days, and then the stupid popcorn buckets. My God,
Dude, the
Mm.
popcorn buckets are
What even
getting
is
this is out of
this?
control.
what is a shoe? I mean,
Yes.
It's barely a bowl. Like it's like
Yeah.
how am I gonna take a handful of popcorn inside the theater with me? Just call it an
they should
action
have just
figure.
copied the Wolverine popcorn bucket and made it Lobo's face, just a gaping mouth open.
Yeah, or just stick it on top of a cup or something, just like a
Yeah.
decorative piece. Like that's completely useless.
Or you could just say it's an action figure. You don't actually have to put popcorn in everything. People would have still bought it if it was like a regular action figure, and then just have a regular fucking popcorn bucket. Like I don't know. Like this is so
Dune
stupid.
and Project Hail Mary had awesome popcorn buckets.
Yeah.
I
yeah,
didn't
but
see
no one has come
Project
close.
Hail Mary one. Which
But the
one was
thing is,
that one?
Popcorn
It was
buckets
his helmet, his space helmet.
It's just a gimmick to get people to buy more
Oh.
crap at a movie theater.
I agree.
I mean,
I don't like it. I don't
yes,
like the
there's some
gimmick.
people that collect it, which is fine, but it's are you really going to be saying, okay, I'm going to watch a movie at home and pop open Lobo and because I'm on a diet with popcorn,
I'm gonna pop open Lobo.
It looks so cheap too. It looks so cheaply made.
It really does look cheap. This is I think the popcorn bucket trend is really ridiculous. I've heard some of these are up to $80. I was
But not
like,
only that, it's plastic and there's chemicals in the paint and it's getting on your food and you're eating it because guess what? In a traditional popcorn bucket, it's lined with wax on the inside.
oh, that's true.
So that it
I didn't even
protects
think
yourself
about that.
from this.
Just have a normal popcorn bucket and do like a nice
like a
poster image
Like,
on
how
it.
are you supposed to, be on a date and do second base stuff with a popcorn bucket? Like, you have to carve a hole in it, but it's now rotted. It's like molded plastic, so you need a Dremel, and then
this is so stupid. This is probably the stupidest popcorn bucket I've seen. I mean, the Dune one was hilarious because it looked like a vagina. That
can't
one was
wait.
funny.
I can't
That
wait for
one-
part
that-
3's.
I would
with
say
it.
it's more like a butthole, but okay, sure.
Yeah,
Or
nothing will ever
that.
beat the sandworm bucket.
Or some
Yeah.
other appendage. But what's going to happen for Doom Part 3? They can't redo this.
Sure,
Yeah,
They
you
should
can't really
probably-
up the ante anymore without
Are
it
they
just
gonna
being
just
straight
bring
up
it
like
back?
porn. So
Yeah,
I hope that
they'll
it's
just probably bring it back.
a navigator tank, but I don't know.
Ooh,
We'll see.
that'd be cool.
Did I
hope we
see
get to
the
see the
Scary Movie
Navigators.
6 one? No, I didn't see the Scary Movie 6. It's a
Oh, it's just a
bong.
bong.
yeah, it's a bong.
It's just a bong.
My God.
It's literally a bong with popcorn in it.
And it can be a bong after the popcorn's done. So
Okay, hold
Okay,
on,
well
I gotta
that's
look
funny
this
because
up.
it's a parody itself.
That's actually
so
funny, yeah.
That makes sense.
Are you guys excited about Scary Movie 6?
Not really. I mean, I was never big, I was never big on the franchise to begin with. So I mean,
Yeah,
here's the
neither.
thing: it's funny, and I think it's needed. I feel like a lot of the
True.
humor is going to be very, elementary. It's going to try to be non-woke, even though
it's gonna be dated. That's the
yeah.
other part. Just like the first two scary movies are very dated. Scary Movie 3, bit more timeless, but it's also the David Zucker doing it. Scary Movie 6 could probably fall into the same thing. I mean, there's a couple things gonna know for sure. Number one, there's gonna be a lot of stoner jokes. Number two, there's going to be Anna Faris doused in a male release at some point. And then you're gonna have a bunch of contemporary jokes peppered around that.
This is funny. It's like a phone. So it's like, what's up? What's up?
From the beer commercial. Yeah.
Also, I don't know. I
is
just
that
think
the
that
phone?
I feel like that humor or that type of humor is kind of past now. Like I don't know if it's still funny anymore.
I'm excited for Spaceballs 2.
Really?
I'm really excited to see how they're going to make fun of Star Wars when it's making fun of itself so bad.
If they're smart enough to go that way. I mean,
Rick Moranis. It's Rick Moranis.
Yeah, but
I
it's
will
also
be there
Josh
for
Gad.
him.
So I mean,
it's Josh Gad,
Yeah,
and the only
Josh
good thing Josh
Gad.
Gad has been in the last 10 years was that one episode of Wonder Man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll see.
exactly.
We'll see.
Yeah,
Well, Mel Brooks
Josh
was
Gad
still
is
a part
boring.
of it. And the fact that they have all the people, they have Bill Pullman and
I
they have
mean-
Daphne and they have
Oh no,
all the
Elaine, I'm totally
people.
with you.
Yeah.
Like I'm hoping it's great. Like I'm
Yeah.
hoping it's going to be really
I
good.
hope.
I've been burned too many times.
And not only
Right.
that, I mean, sadly, Mel Brooks he forgot the premise of his original joke because the whole idea is Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money. It's not more money to make the movie. It's more money in regards to merchandising because that's the punchline. And he's like, look, I found the money. It's like, Bill, do you not remember your joke? Like, I know you're 99, but like you missed your own joke. And it's just,
I know.
it breaks my heart.
But I do like what they're trying to go for, like the new one. And I feel like if
The
it's
new one
mostly
is
a
a great
theme
title.
about franchises today, I'm like that's pretty good.
I mean,
We'll see.
ideally, what you would have done is you would have had Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money, and then Spaceballs, the new one, as your trilogy.
Yeah.
Because that's the joke. Because now the new one's now the end. But
Oh my goodness! Oh my
Oh, there's
goodness! Look
several.
at this!
Yeah,
the
that is wild
range of
work, man.
sizes.
Raiders here, you guys.
Hey,
Dropping
Raider.
10
Hey, Raider.
memberships. Thank you, Raider. My goodness, where's my clapping sounds? I have clapping sounds. Hold on. Yes, Raider. Woo! 10 memberships to the chat. You rock, bro. Thank you so much. And there's more. There's more Raider coming in with a 67.35. Thank you so much.
That's a very
Raider.
specific
Woo!
number, man.
He does the maths. Raider
Good to
math.
see you, Raider.
So
He's
my main
mathing.
reservation on Spaceballs, the new one, is the fact that there is some creative overlap that was part of History of the World
See.
Part 2.
Mm.
And History of the World Part 2 was atrocious.
I don't know if I saw that. Which
It's
one?
it was
I
a
didn't even
Hulu
bother
series.
to watch it, man.
It was
Like
a
I
Hulu
love
series.
History of the World Part 1.
Brilliant, yeah.
I couldn't do it.
I don't know if
You-
I
I
am
saw
actually
either.
excited for Master of the Universe. So
Me
talking
too.
about like an opposite thing happened in terms of marketing. I wasn't really that the first trailer didn't really pique my interest, but as the marketing campaign continued, like, oh, okay. Now they're embracing the memes. And I'm actually
Yeah,
excited to see
I
it.
honestly-
love that.
Honestly, I was very skeptical but I feel like it's just going to be a good time. Like, I don't know. Like, I have good feelings about it, even though it might not be a good film. I still want to see it. So
I
Me
think I
too.
think it's going to be a very fun film. I think it will cause some fans a little bit of discomfort because the other part being, and I've heard this from a few people, is that there are some humor moments that are a bit more like peak Thor Ragnarok and nowhere near Thor Love and Thunder, but in that
Aw.
vein. And the reason being is that, well, unfortunately, that humor tracks really well with the 18 to 30 crowd.
But also, we got to remember, this is He-Man we're talking about. Which,
It's
by the
He-Man.
way,
It's an
by the way, I
earnest
was a
film
huge
with
fan.
fans.
I had all the
Yeah.
toys growing up. I was that guy. Like, I loved Master of the Universe, loved the cartoon, loved everything about it. But we got to just accept that, it has to be a little tongue in cheek. It has to be a little tongue in cheek. I mean, this is a big buff guy running around in a fur bikini.
I just
we gotta like.
There is a line in a He-Man comic by Fisto. It says, "I fisted them hard, He-Man, but I couldn't fist no
I remember
more."
that.
Legit line.
Fist them all.
But I couldn't fist no more.
I was like laughing at this
I love
because
this.
I love this. And Anna was like, am I the only one who actually enjoyed this? And I was like, you know what's so crazy is I was like kind of down on this movie until I saw this. And I was like, you know what? I actually love the fact that he's having so much fun with it. This sold me on seeing the movie because I was like,
I think it sold a lot of people, which is
I
weird,
love
man,
it.
but it did.
I love it.
Skeletor scene.
It's just the meme,
Skeletor
but
being
it's not-
Skeletor.
Like He-Man is
Whatever.
not this, but this is the meme, and the fact that the actor leaned into it is showing, like, you know what?
You can't
I'm
not
going to
embrace
respect
the
the people that
memes.
like the meme, and I'm also trying to respect the people that love He-Man.
Exactly. I love the attitude of like not taking yourself seriously, leaning into the memes.
Mhm.
This is exactly like the opposite of what someone like Rachel Zegler would do, right? Like just taking
Or even Millie
yourself way
Alcock at
too
this
freaking
point. Or
Oh,
Alcock.
yeah.
right. Millie Alcock, like Alcock.
This is how you
whatever
do
is.
it.
This is how you do it. Let's play it. This is great.
And so I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real
Though I'm probably gonna get claimed on it, but that's okay.
high and I
Stream in my head.
scream the top of my lungs, what's going on? And
And I said, hey, 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 hey.
Awful Wayne scene. You got to give it to him, man.
and so I wake
So
Fucking
good.
great. We need more fun. People need more fun. They need to stop taking themselves so seriously. I love it. I actually really did like that.
Well, you know what it is too? It's because we get preached to so much that it's just nice when actors are like, hey, I'm in this project. I want you guys to see the movie and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get you guys to go to the theater. Right? Like that is so much more refreshing now.
It's Pride Month, Rick. Get with it.
I mean, of course it's gay, but it's like, but that's the point, right?
That's
I
okay.
mean,
Gay also means happy, you guys. Remember when gay meant happy? Because it is happy. So let's go with that. Let's be gay. It's
but also,
fine.
let's be honest here. The original cartoon was a little gay. I mean, if we're being
It
honest
was
here.
for kids, yeah. I mean, it had a lot of morals at the end of each episode. Which
Prince
actually
Adam
really
was
good one.
literally gay. Are we kidding here? Like,
Prince
he
Adam was
wore pink and lavender and had a bob. I mean,
yeah, like that. That was weird. And the other part too is that there was never any
Don't
real
tell
proper
that to Tom.
flirtation between him and Tila. Not until you get to the new Masters of the Universe in 2000 X or whatever. I watched He-Man, but I liked She-Ra, and the reason I like She-Ra is like that's like the type of woman I want to marry.
oh
She-Ra
yeah,
was
yeah, she was
hot.
hot, man.
Like she
She
was
was
just
hot.
hot. She had a very sweet voice as Adora, and then a very like nurturing, kind of like seductive voice as She-Ra. I'm like, I don't know what it is. I'm 4 years old, but it's like with me all the time. And it's like and it's like I'll hold the sword, I'll defend her. But I
Oh
don't
my
want her-
god, that's hilarious. That's how I
my
felt
dad was
about
laughing because
Tuxedo
he's like, my
Mask.
kid is really straight. Like because he's
Oh,
not
dude,
watching
that-
it for
that
girly
is
stuff. He's
every
like,
father's
I
like
love that
sigh of
chick.
relief, man.
Yeah.
When his boy like sees a chick and he just like goes nuts
I
for her.
want her.
Oh my
yeah.
god. Did you ever see that King of the Hill episode when Hank finds out that Bobby is straight and he
Oh
goes,
yeah.
whew.
Yeah.
Like,
And
oh my God,
that's
that
when
is
you crack
so
a beer open
accurate.
with the boys and you're like, guys, I didn't fail.
Yeah,
I didn't
you're
know.
like, I
The
did it.
thing that I always saw is like,
My
I'm gonna have
boy.
grandkids. Like that's usually like the first
Yeah.
thing I see out of the dads. Like I'm gonna have grandkids. Like that's what they want.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? We're actually done, Elaine, because I read your message in the private chat, and this is it. This is basically the show, and I really appreciate that you came by today. I obviously I'm so angry still, but seeing you and hearing your passion makes me a little bit less angry, but I still want to get even. So we need to like beat the Gwauld still. I believe in change, and I think we can. I think we can do it. We got to change some minds. Just get on.
I just don't
their
get it,
Twitter.
man. The fan base is there. The fan base is there.
The fan base-
Why not just go through with it?
They thought they mistakenly thought that we were just that the fandom of Stargate is just like a minority of just some randos who gives a shit, whatever. And so we're gonna prove them wrong. We're gonna prove them wrong. And holy shit, Ian's so forth with the 67-36.
Was that what Raider
Oh
got?
my God. He's
Same.
doing like the Raider thing. Thank you. Woo, Ian. Oh my God. Wait, the clapping sounds became over. Hold on. Woo, Ian. Amazing. But hold on. I'm also mad at Ian. I'm also mad at you because he trolled me on the screen.
I saw that.
He trolled me. And I was like, while I was talking to him, I was like, why won't you respect my authority? And I was like, just like feeling like, why are you questioning me? And then I felt I don't have the respect my authority clip, but I was like this the whole time.
How dare you?
Like, how dare you question me? Why? So that's where I was at. But Elaine, thank you so much for coming by tonight. Please,
Yeah, I'm glad I
let
could
the
make it.
people
Thanks for
know
having
where
me.
they can find you and what you got.
Yeah,
coming
you
up
can find
next.
me here. Find me here on YouTube at Nerd Cookies. I talk lots about sci-fi and fantasy news analysis. I'll have my Dune book club stream next Thursday if you want to join that. Oh, another.
Oh my God, it's a freaking sent off. Woohoo! Thank you so much, Raider. Woo! Woo!
I was actually wooing for Dune Book Club, but I'll also woo for that.
Thank you.
But
I'm
thanks for
sorry.
having me. This is a lot of fun. It's always fun.
Of course.
Stargate fans are the best, and we'll get through this together.
We're gonna get
as
through
always.
this together, Elaine, and you're gonna have to come back. We have to talk about Odyssey. We have to when it comes out. We have to talk about
Supergirl.
Dune. You have to come back soon. We have a lot to talk about. If Stargate gets saved, we have to talk about that. We have a lot to discuss. You have to come back soon, okay?
Will do. Thank you.
I love you, girl. Thank you.
Love
Thank
you.
you so much. I'll see you later. Oh my God, Ian. Ian, my God. What is going on? Hold on.
There has to be a story behind that number.
Well, I hear 67.
6738. Woo! This is not even 69. 67 has now become my favorite number. My God. Woo! Hold on. I have clapping sounds. It's better than 69. 6738. Woo! It was just a bit of trolley fun. It was just a bit of trolley fun, he says. Just a bit of trolley fun. Well, you know what? I was pissed at you. I took you seriously. I fell for it. Oh my God. I totally fell for the troll. I'm trying to find like some sort of good clip for this. I was so mad. Hold on.
I don't know what the that was.
That's the only one that says the F word. What do I have here? Do I have anything? No. I was pissed. Oh my God, Raider! Raider is coming in with another. Oh my God, 6738. That one's the same as this one. But I'm fine with that. Thank you. My God. He says, ban Ian so forth for not respecting your authority. Oh my God. No, Raider. No. Well, you know what? Maybe a like a 5-minute ban. You banned, Ian. You banned.
Hey, phrasing.
Oh my God. I need better clips. What's going on with my clips? Here's the thing for He-Man.
Why are you gay?
Why are you gay? Russell Hall is here too. He says, sorry, did somebody say you were having a sent off? Yes, they're having a sent off because their super chats are sent off. 37, 38, but then Raiders came back with 30. It was a sent off. That was it. Russell has to make it gross. Also, Colton over on Rumble says, do you like cranberry juice? I do. I love cranberry juice. It's the best.
So is cranberry jelly. Cranberry jelly is pretty good too.
I don't think I've ever had cranberry jelly.
Some people know it as cranberry sauce, but it comes in sometimes it's in a can or something, but it's a gel.
Like jelly, like for breakfast, like the strawberry jam, like that?
No, it's more solid than that.
Oh, I don't think I've ever had that.
Yeah,
that sounds delicious.
Yeah, you usually see it in the can, and they put it out for Thanksgiving, and then it kind of retains the can shape. But it's actually it's not a sauce. It's not quite a jelly, but it's a gelatinous jello. Like,
oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
never had that before. Raider and Ian are lighting the chat up. They are. My God, that was amazing. That was an amazing light up. Tonight is yours, Raider, but I will not vanish, he says. Oh, you guys are the best. Thank you so much. You guys are so fantastic. Thank you for all the support. Everybody in here, thank you so much for your super chats, Rumble rants. Even if you just came and dropped a like, thank you so much for the support. The memberships, a bunch of people gifted memberships tonight. Thank you so much for all of your support. I really, really, really appreciate you. But you know who else could use the support? Joe Mallozzi and Jero and everyone involved, Brad Wright, everyone, go and tweet them all. If you see, especially Joe, I did leave his link in the description for his Twitter. Go and give him a follow, retweet all the stuff, tweet at Amazon, phone them up if you have to, let them know how upset you are. If you're a Stargate fan, let them know. Just, make your opinions heard. You got to do it. While you still can, you got to do it. You got to do it. Thank you, Raider. Thank you again. You're the best. Really appreciate you. And Verbal, you want to say anything before we leave? You got anything going on?
Yeah, guys. So you noticed the show hasn't been going on for a little while because I got sidetracked with this other project I had to do. But VRL will be back this Saturday. I'm moving it to Saturdays because that's finally the day I have free. So VRL is going to be 1 p.m. PST. I know it's a random ass time, but for y'all out there who ain't got nothing to do and you ain't got no dates or no life, watch the show.
4 p.m. Eastern. That's not bad. That's
I mean, I figure it's a solid time, and if you're home, you're home. If you're not, you're not.
But
There'll be clips. You can always watch the video and replay, all that good shit. But yeah, VRL
have a nice little
420.
Have a nice little 420. Grab your popcorn bucket from Scary Movie and have a little blaze with Verbal Riot.
Yeah, pop a few gummies, man, and just hop on, dude, and shit.
I mean, that's perfect. You watch your show and then you kind of ride the buzz out, go out for 9 o'clock to have your night.
See, Script. Hey, I need to hire Script as my promoter, man.
I mean, dude, I've been coming up with a whole bunch of stuff for projects that's being shot up here, and it's been fun, but it's also been really there's been some disappointments too. I mean, again, I completely empathize with Joe over at Amazon Studios. So yeah,
Show that that sometimes they say though that's show business. You know what I mean? Like
It is, yeah.
it's fucking vicious, and that's why not everybody's cut out for it because it's a vicious,
Well, and people
vicious
always forget about the
industry.
business part of it. It is a
Yeah.
business. So
It's a business, and it's 99% rejection, and it's done that way to basically make sure the best of the best kind of stick around.
Yeah, it is, but it can be extremely tough. So I'm sorry. I know you were telling me some stuff behind the scenes, and
I'll see.
man,
I'm doing this effort
sucks.
to see what I can do to help out some of my fellow creatives and writers out there because, yeah. I mean, Hollywood is dying in California, but not in the rest of the world. That's the big issue. Is like there's stuff going on.
True.
It's just tragic that it's not happening in California anymore because that state is bass backwards.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, California losing the film business is basically like Detroit losing the car
Auto
business
business.
back in the day. It's devastating. Guys, I mean, a lot of you probably don't even live in California, but for the ones who do, you have to understand, man, like if they don't make big changes soon, that state is dead. Like it is just
Yeah.
completely dead.
We
Karen
were
Bass
actually
has
talking
to
about that
go.
earlier.
Gavin Newsom has to go. California needs to become a red state. I'm not even joking. If it's going to survive, it's got to become red.
We were talking about a little bit about that earlier, verbal, that there was a vote today in California before you were here. Do you know what's
No, the
going
election
on
was
with that?
yesterday, and they're still counting the
Or
votes.
yesterday? They're still counting votes. Do you know what's
Yeah,
going on?
it was just a primary, but we Chris Gore had we did a live thing yesterday with a few other guys from California, and we talked about it, man, because look, even though I live in Colorado now, California is still home to me. It's
Yeah, of
still
course.
my home state. So
Yeah.
I give a shit. All my family are there, so I give a shit
Yeah.
about what happens to that state, or it's specifically to LA. And man, Chris, man, like he doesn't say it a lot, but man, this guy he's going through it, man. Like he's watching everything he loves just be destroyed at this point.
Mhm.
To the point where he's talking about leaving, man. And Chris Gore is like Mr. Hollywood. So for him to leave,
He's
LA,
been out there
was
for like 40
crazy.
years. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like it's become. What is he gonna do? Go back to Detroit, Michigan? Like,
No. He's thinking about Nashville. He's thinking about Texas. He's thinking about heading out, man.
well,
Because
Texas
here's
is on
the
a
thing:
yeah,
there's nothing left. And if Bass stays in position, it's all over.
Oh yeah, one more term with her in LA is like it's done.
I cannot believe that she would win at all. Like this, like, considering what happened with the fire. Like, have people forgotten? How is she even in the running?
Oh,
like,
Nina, it's beyond the fires. It's the fires. It's the homeless fraud. It's the homeless takeover of LA. It's the fact that crime has been legalized in California.
It's
California's
insane.
fucked. Okay, like
I was talking to like somebody who used to live there, also moved somewhere else. And we were talking about how the stars used to love the Hollywood Walk of Fame, like where they put the handprints or whatever.
Mhm.
And how we were talking about how one of the people who's never wanted it was Julia Roberts, and because she always has thought that it's kind of gimmicky or whatever. And in a way, I kind of agree with her, but like especially now, like back in the day, it was really cool because it was like a sign of Hollywood. But now, dude, you walk on that street, some of those stars, like there's bums like pissing on this.
dude, if you put your hands down on the cement there, you're gonna get syphilis, dude. Like,
yeah, dude, like they're like shooting up like next to like so and so.
They're literally shitting in the streets.
Yeah,
it's awful. Like I'm like, no wonder nobody wants their stars now, because it's like, who wants to be like oh my god, who wants to be like shat on like somebody's shitting on your name? Like it's literally crazy.
I'm telling you, any pride that LA had, and what's crazy is, and we talked about this on the show yesterday with Chris and a bunch of other guys, like LA used to be one of the coolest places in the world, man. So much history, so 100%. Much if you know, a lot of cool shit, man. And we went to Playboy parties, man, at the Playboy Mansion. Like there's so many things that were so cool about it. And it's like all of it is gone. LA has no aura anymore.
This like before we go, I have to play this because we're talking about this. I saw this clip earlier and I thought it was kind of funny. So this is a MSNBC reporter. Okay, here we go.
It's a much more lively vibe and in very LA fashion. There's now a chopper flying overhead. He's having his party at a Mexican restaurant that he has loved for years. And there's some Spencer Pratt supporters here who seem in a very good mood. You guys have
Instagram Patriot Wildcat.
You guys have probably seen the latest batch of polling that just came out. Shows him doing pretty well in second place, just 10 points behind Karen Bass. How are you feeling about that?
I love how this chick is like kind of like, normal. Like clearly she's not like drunk. Like she's like actually like, she's fine.
And the crazy thing is, if you would have told me in 2026, I would say Spencer Pratt is LA's only hope. Like, I would have thought you were high as fuck. Like I would have thought like you were on something.
That's crazy. This chick is this whole video is just so funny. This guy's like freaking like fucked up.
Feel really confident that he's going to make it to the runoff.
Definitely, he's going to make it to the runoff. There's a lot of people who already voted for him. Their votes haven't been counted yet. They voted day of the election, old school style. So I think his numbers are going to get better.
What is it about Spencer Pratt that you just is resonating with you?
Because he's speaking out against communism and socialism. And it is a real big problem in our cities, especially in LA where it's turned to crap. It's not an accident. They're doing it by design. Karen Bass wants to destroy our city.
Though.
And it's nice to see someone like Spencer Pratt.
I can simplify it because those buzzwords are like
Have you seen this clip, Verbal?
No, I haven't.
Okay, just watch.
Dude is totally right.
Yeah, he's right. But this is so funny. Look, this guy's gonna dumb it down for this bitch. Hold on.
I can simplify it because those buzzwords are like they melt the brains of like left, leaning people. So let's just say it this way: he doesn't want human feces to be a part of your life. Yeah. He doesn't want homeless children outside.
Totally.
Homeless
Thank
people
you.
outside. Oh,
We
you
have-
didn't
no.
like that.
We have-
she ran away.
We appreciate you.
Can I get a shout out real quick?
We appreciate you. We appreciate you. We've talked a lot about the homelessness. Thank you.
He called her out, man.
I don't appreciate you, ma'am.
I got it.
He's like, I
Thank
don't
you
know.
for navigating that so well.
No, we can.
That guy was freaking based.
Good
He's
for
like-
him, man.
Yeah, that was funny.
I love that scene when he's like, "I don't appreciate you, ma'am." This is the scene where this bitch is like, "Oh my
But
god."
see, here's the thing, right? And people will look at this video and they'll be like, "Oh, the only people who support Spencer Pratt are bros," right? No, man,
No.
he has way more support than people think.
Dude, the old school liberals support Spencer Pratt. That's it. I mean,
I think anybody who doesn't like literally what that guy said, like people who don't want like to watch a homeless person beat themselves off next to a school. I think anybody who has that common sense are for this dude. Like, because what is going on over there
Okay,
is
but see, like
unreal.
that's the light part of it, Nina. We were talking yesterday about how like just riding a train can mean your fucking life, man. Like people are getting stabbed by homeless people on the trains like every other day in LA.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
That's
I mean, they don't take
crazy.
the subway already, and now they have another reason not to take it.
Oh, and also the homeless sleep on the trains, so
Yep.
it smells like shit all the time.
Oh my god. Wait, you guys have trains?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
wait. Where's the
have
trains
there's
at?
a subway line. It's not great, but it's there.
Yeah, it's not great.
Like,
It's not great.
What train? Because I don't remember the
mean-
trains.
There's several of them though. Like there's actually more trains than people think, but
Nobody really.
they're all
uses them
bad.
and knows
They're
about
all
them.
bad. Like
yeah.
you don't want to ride as a woman. You don't want to ride them by yourself.
No,
Like-
I would be terrified. Like I wouldn't
What's
want to
funny
ride the
is-
subway and like
what's it called in
New York. I
No, Subway in
certainly
New York
wouldn't-
is not. I mean, Subway in New York is actually pretty good, but still has its issues. But what's always funny is every time I deal with actors that come up from LA and they take the subway here in Toronto, they are shocked because it's clean.
Yeah.
If there is a homeless person, there's only one, and they're only on for a couple of stops and they leave.
Well,
there's-
it used to be like that in LA, but now
No, it's
basically
not,
we
yeah.
call. In fact, it's been nicknamed the Hobo Hotel.
Yeah.
That's what the trains are now.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because they literally sleep on the trains, and they're allowed to.
they're called the Hobo Hotel.
Yeah, it's the Hobo Hotel. That's what the trains are now.
Oh, you know what's so sad, man? Because like I feel old because when you're as old as I am and you've been to like LA in the 90s and like you kind of lived through that golden era of Los
It was the
Angeles.
third golden
and
age of LA was the 90s. It was the thid golden age because they had
it really was,
a lull
man.
from 55 to 65, And then they kind of had another golden age up until the 80s. And then there's that little brief lull when Cannon was kind of trying to pump out a bunch of stuff. And then it bounced back up again. And then I got down there, and just as they were kind of like, oh man, 2006 to 2009 was a great 3 years of LA. And then 2010, it was a complete pivot. And then you could see the direction it's going, and you're just clinging on and basically praying that it wasn't actually going to commit all the way through. And every single step of the way it did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there
And-
was just, it was such a good time, and now it's so sad. What it really is so sad what's happening.
And not to
it.
even talk about how many like great places have closed down because you know the lockdowns just completely destroyed them.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh,
Oh, yeah.
it's awful. I'm just trying to see where, because I was gonna like raid Anna's channel, but I don't think she's set up a stream. Has she set up a stream yet? I don't see it. So I guess we're not rating her. Russell Hall, thank you for the $2. Says when the party ends, what is that? When the party ends, there's crap everywhere. When the party ends, there's crap everywhere. Well, I guess that's kind of true, but not in my house, that's for sure. Because I make sure that the guests clean up after themselves and use the toilet. She hasn't started. Okay, so never mind. We're not rating her. I don't know who else is streaming that we can raid, but I don't. Is Raging Rhino streaming? Maybe we can raid him. I don't know what's going on. Okay, we're just gonna end the show. I don't know what's going on with the raids, but you guys are amazing. Thank you again, everybody, for showing up. I hope California can get it done. Well, you're not Californian, he says. Well, you're
if
not
LA
in
can
California.
change, if LA can get new government, that will have a ripple effect. That'll head up through other cities, other counties,
agree.
and then eventually into the Congress and eventually the governor office. It's just a slow issue. I mean, I laughed earlier today because someone shared a post on X that said, "Remember when Schwarzenegger was governor? Well, he had to have Karen Bass help him out." I'm like, that's not how that story went down.
Yeah,
it's like.
I remember something like that.
Like I was there. That's not how that story
That's not how it
went
went down at all.
How did it go down?
She came in and she helped with marketing to really just to help get some Democratic seats to vote for some of those plans that Schwarzenegger had to get kind of give a little bit of new life for California because he was trying to get more work back into the state. And he needed to reach across the aisle, and not a whole lot of people would do that. Karen Bass was one of the few that did, and they came up with a couple of programs that she participated in to help balance some budgets and stuff, and that won some votes and got California into a better state for a short time.
A very short time.
It was literally a blink and you miss it, if I remember correctly.
But I think like all in all though, Verbal, like people did think Arnold was a pretty good governor, right? Like just generally speaking.
Good is a strong word. Compared to Gavin Newsom, yes.
Yeah, no, he was very superior.
Compared to Gavin Newsom, he was a good governor.
I would say that Maria Shriver did more damage to his office than because that's the only time she could only ever be first lady of a state. She could never be first lady of the country, and that's what she wanted. But she married Arnold, and now divorced Arnold.
Is that when he was like sleeping with the
maid? Oh, he's been doing that for decades.
Well, he was doing that before he became governor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
because that boy's at least 20-something years old. So
he looks just like him. It's actually fucking crazy.
Yeah, he looks like literally the Mexican Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He really does. It's really crazy.
Arnaldo Schwarzenegger. That's
there you go.
Hold on a second. I think I found out who we can raid. Camelot. We're gonna raid Camelot.
Oh, cool.
He's awesome. Love Cody. Okay, here we go. The raid is set up. Thank you again, everybody. And save Stargate. And it's a bummer, but we'll stick it out. We'll be back next week also, next Wednesday. And also I will be back this Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern to bring you good news because we need balance in this world. This world sucks. And we need to talk about good things for a change. So until then, I'll see you guys later. And thank you for watching, everybody. Take care. Bye.